Hello, listening people.
Hello!
You're listening to Spit and Polish presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Bartek.
Just Bartek?
Just Bartek.
No last name?
Well, you've heard that my voice is really intense this time.
So your last name is voice is really intense this time.
Yes.
We're Spit and Polish, likingly because we are always spitting
Hang on.
right on my carpet. Fucking shameful. And we are both Polish. You know, get it? It's been Polish, you think it's going to be Polish, and there's Polish. We've done 101 episodes of this, and this is always the gag.
Jesteśmy Polacy.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you said, I don't know what you said. I mean, could this be related to the fact I don't understand Polish? Will that come back later when I ask you for the title?
I'll forget about
of
it
the
in a
film?
few minutes.
Yeah, you'll forget and be, like, surprised. And we are doing the show Unappreciated Masterpieces. And what is Unappreciated Masterpieces? Great question. You ready?
Hold on, Ryan.
What?
What are unappreciated masterpieces?
Oh, wow, that's a great question, Bartek. Well,
that myself.
oh, good. Was it the thesis of the show? What is an unappreciated masterpieces? Well, we find those films, you know the ones. The films that people don't necessarily love, they don't necessarily hate them. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who are like, oh, I love Big Fat Liar, or people who are like, I fucking hate Big Fat Liar, but...
Who hates Big Fat Liar?
But they're not usually in people's top 10 lists of the best films of all time. They're the films that you kind of remember existing, but then you kind of forget that they're there. They're usually the films that have a negative connotation to them. But why? Why do they have that? Maybe you're wrong, and maybe we're right about them being unappreciated masterpieces, because the masterpieces indicates that they are actually pretty good.
Yeah, we'll give you a little test, guys. Remember Mouse Hunt? Whether you say yes or no, it's, you know...
Yeah, Mouse Hunt, I remember that.
You know, if you remember it, then it's like, oh yeah, but if you don't remember, it's like, what?
A lot of people love Mouse Hunt.
I only just remembered it the other day. So
Well, there you go. Is it going to be on the show? Maybe. It has Christopher Walken in it as a guy who hunts mice. Yeah.
Oh, I need to see
He's
it
the pest control guy. But we're not doing Mouse Hunt. No. We're doing something else.
Yes.
This is our 101 episode.
101st.
101. 101. This is...
You know, I missed that.
What?
I now realise... Yeah, go on.
101. Right? And we are going to be doing a film that's very, very important. Something that only this episode number could do. Bartek, what?
I never put that together.
Put what together? 101?
The fact, Ryan, that this episode we are doing 101 Dalmatiansów.
I didn't put that together. I didn't put that together either, because I do not speak Polish.
What?
I know, I kind of foreshadowed it a little bit earlier in our conversation.
When I listen to this episode, I'm going to be looking for evidence of that foreshadowing.
You're going to be looking for me?
Edit in a flashback here.
Yeah, like a noise.
To every single episode that you've been in when you said I don't speak Polish.
So that'll be like over 90 episodes. Yeah, so what is the film? I don't speak Polish. I mean, I know I am Polish, but I don't speak it because, you know, I'm lazy.
You don't
Polish
speak
is
it.
hard.
Oh, I've only just now realised.
It involves a lot of throat noises. I don't do throat noises.
Well, Ryan...
I only do throat. Yep.
Considering the fact that you don't know what movie we're doing something very special for our 101st episode.
What?
We are doing 101 Dalmatians.
Just 101 or 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, give or take.
Oh, that's a lot of Dalmatians.
Yeah, it's either 101 or it's 0.
From what? The 1960s, the animated classic from Disney Studios.
Ryan,
the one with the famous Cruella de Vil song. Oh my god.
Ryan,
we're gonna see that famous car crash scene. Oh wow, I can't wait.
No, Ryan.
Take a back seat, Moana, because we're doing a real Disney classic.
We're still continuing the tradition of not doing full animated films yet on this
what?
show.
You're saying we're not doing the culturally diverse film about black and white dogs, 101 Dalmatians with Cruella de Vil? No, we're not doing that animated classic.
No.
What are we doing?
We're doing the live action one.
The live action one from 1996?
Yeah.
Wow, that is unappreciated. Where's that one's Oscar? I don't know.
I got it right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Pass me it. Pass me the Oscar.
Well, you'll notice that it's been spit and polished on.
Oh, title drop there. And I'm going to hand this Oscar over to our Oscar-winning guest.
Oh, for his Oscar-winning performance in
Gary Oldman's on the show, guys. I can't believe that we got him on. After he won his Oscar, he had nothing else to do. No, of course I'm joking. We have the Gary Oldman of Melbourne here. He gave me a befuddled look, just like Gary Oldman would. We have Sam Corr.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sam Corr, aka Metallica fan numero uno, aka The Big Riff, aka Hawaiian pizza with no pineapple.
Look,
coming at you with a long sleeve white shirt and black jeans. I've got my cap on. I've done the Ash Ketchum. I've pulled it backwards. We're ready to go. We are ready to rock and
he
roll.
just dropped a lot of gangland.
Which one was his
there.
YouTube channel?
There is. Do you want me to link it? Everyone look up Sam. No, I can't remember what it's called.
I can't wait to look it up, and it would just be him saying this exact same speech. He prepared it.
If you're down for some Mega Man playthroughs, I've got the channel for you, man.
I have fucking never played Mega Man, but if I watch you play it, it's like I'm playing it. That's what I love about playthroughs.
That's right.
It's kind of like, I could play the game myself. But it's just far more entertaining to watch someone else play it and talk incessantly about nonsense.
When you got the Gary Oldman of Melbourne smashing out a few Mega Man titles.
Some people might say Unappreciated Masterpieces is kind of like the Let's Plays of film, because you guys could just watch the 1996 film and have your own opinions, but you should actually do what you're doing now, which is just sit back, enjoy us, and listen to us talk about the film classic.
We'll roll out some wily busters.
I don't know. I don't speak whatever that was. But guys, here's the thing. You have to have a legal copy of 1996's 101 Dalmatians on you, because you're going to be watching this along with us, because we have our copy here. Totally 100% legal copy. And it is, it's a magnificent film. If you haven't seen it, well, get a copy now. Go to your local, Video Easy, go somewhere where they have it.
Your local Pirate Bay.
Put it in your disk drive. Plug it into your computer. I don't know. I don't speak hip talk.
It's called VHS, Ryan.
And just have a grand old time.
Yeah.
Just slap it on in there.
Because,
mute the audio and listen to us.
Mute the audio, maybe put some subtitles on so that you can, enjoy the film quality, because Ryan, it's a magnificent film.
When can they press play?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to do a countdown. I'm going to count down from 3, and when I say play, you're going to press play because I'm pressing play.
That's pretty zany.
I thought of it myself.
Get Out.
No, Get Out didn't win the Best Picture Oscar. It was Shape of Water.
It won Best Original Screenplay.
I always get it confused.
Yeah, but was Gary Oldman of Melbourne in Get Out? Don't think so. He's not black.
Oscar's so black. Is that what you're saying, Ryan?
Gary Oldman won, of course. So get your copy ready, because we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1, play. Here we go.
All right.
Disney, now owned by Fox. I'm joking.
No, it's the other way around.
I know. It's just every episode we've done recently, I've said, it's a Fox movie, and I'm like, yes, the newest Disney film. And Bartek, you're always like, what? And I have to remind you, but now you're doing the opposite.
I don't remember any of this.
So here's I've got to get this off my chest just about straight away.
Great Oaks, great job.
I am not a movie guy. I really do not watch a whole lot of movies, so I wrote a whole lot of notes as I was watching the movie to reflect back on, and the very first note that I wrote just says, I now know who Glenn Close is.
Great!
Which is great, because I approximately at that point right there.
Here's the biggest question I've got to ask you. But hold on first, I've got to ask Bartek, did you know who Glenn Close was?
Yeah, she was in the Stepford Wives.
She was! Okay, I was going to ask now you, Sam, did you know if Glenn Close was a man or a woman?
Honestly, I couldn't have told you. I really couldn't have.
So do you look at names and you just think you know them now?
I don't know. I couldn't. I wish I could guarantee you that I knew it was at least a woman, but I couldn't even do that. See, the other thing was that Jeff Daniels' name popped up on the screen as well, and my brain went, oh yeah, Jeff Daniels. And then it wasn't until later that I've got another note here that just says, oh, it's that Jeff Daniels.
Who's the other one?
Is that Jeff Daniels?
Jim Carrey.
Who's the other one? I don't know what he's talking about. Who's the other Jeff Daniels? Are there more than one?
It sounds like a pretty common name.
It's 2 first names.
It's no John Smith, but
it's no John Smith. So there's a dog. He's putting on a shower. Great job. Oh, okay. Don't drink from it, mate. That's a bit rude.
Now, Ryan, did you know that this dog is a Dalmatian?
No, but I was going to share with you an interesting piece of trivia.
There are 100 more coming.
A piece of insight, perhaps?
Yeah. No. This isn't on the IMDb trivia. Ooh. So I've got some inside information here.
Now, from when you were 3 years old and this film was being made?
Hold on.
Yeah.
No. This is information now. This is just in.
Oh, right.
Now, I actually went to a lot of trouble with this. I had to do mathematics to figure this out. So this film was filmed in 1995 and released in 1996.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's 2018 as we record this, and I've done the maths, and all the dogs are dead.
Why? Why did you have to leave with that?
I think about why were they dead?
Well, because age, disease, accidents.
The thing is, I wrote this down as well. I read it. See, it's obviously in the title, 101 Dalmatians,
and you're like,
and I read that right, and I acknowledged that it said 101 Dalmatians, but it wasn't until the movie actually started that I went, oh my god, there's going to be 101 dogs in this movie.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Technically, there's more than that because there's other types of dogs we get to meet.
Yeah, didn't the trivia say that like 200 puppies were used or something?
Yeah, now they're all dead. So that's a lot of dead puppies, Sam.
That's a lot.
I'm not saying that Glenn Close wore them after the film, but I'm not saying that she didn't. I mean, she's a powerful woman. She's Glenn Close. She's got a name that says that she's nearby.
The dogs in this movie are pretty much immediately established as the smartest characters in the whole movie.
Whoa!
They seem to be the only ones like watching the TV and comprehending like the news and stuff.
That's actually true.
Like, why aren't the humans realizing like?
Yeah. Other than the people on the TV.
First dog gets beamed by an alarm clock and he's like, "Well, time to go about my chores for the day."
Because I had a teacher named Tim Ryan.
Here's something. I love the British sensibility of that news headline about an endangered tiger that got skinned alive and its carcass left at the zoo.
Oh, that's foreshadowing.
It said, "Tiger loses its stripes."
Oh.
That's a great headline.
Oh,
you should be.
days.
Oh, look, foreshadowing. We get to see that bulldog later.
That's true.
He's actually the hero of the movie.
Correct. He's a pivotal point.
He's actually the protagonist.
Is that the one owned by the veteran?
The veteran?
Isn't there like a guy called like the General?
Oh yeah. That's we saw him in his little fancy red outfit. Yeah.
That was him there.
Yeah. I didn't realize that he had a character name in the credits. I didn't see it. I just thought, oh, is he one of those British guards with the big fuzzy hats?
No, someone called him the General or something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Jeff Daniels, because he's an American in England and he can recognize military structure.
I can't remember if it was Jeff Daniels or Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie's in this film, by the way.
Yeah, that one I knew. That one I was like,
Hugh Laurie. And did you recognize Arthur Weasley?
I did.
Yes.
And that was, you know what? Hand on my heart, that was actually just some good old fashioned comedy, wasn't there? And I mean,
there was
we'll
electrocution of testicles.
That's what I wrote down. They had the electrocution joke and a testicle joke all in one.
Oh,
wow.
Guys,
that's what Harry Potter was missing.
That's that's some nut jokes in there.
Couple nut.
He's my favorite character, guys.
Oh, tell me that. Yeah, tell me that.
Everything hinges on this boy's reactions. Like this kid is just like, I'm not saying that this kid is the reason that games are in the state they are today, but Gamergate. Just saying, this kid caused it.
He's responsible for all the AAA titles of all the like influx of like first person shooters.
Is
and
he what's his face
games.
Baldwin or something?
What, Alec Baldwin? I don't.
What's his face Baldwin?
I don't play games. I watch unappreciated masterpieces. Is this guy like this kid, man? I don't know. Like he's something about him. He just screams talent.
He really does. That line in particular when he gets up and he goes, "Sorry, mate." I was like, best character.
He really was. Now he really was. I gotta say, he really was. Come on.
I like that they took him seriously. He wasn't really a joke. It's just a joke.
He was a two-scene wonder.
Yeah, it's like a joke at first that he's a kid, but after that, you just meant to play along with that.
Yeah, we've had lots of movies with children in them before. Frankie Muniz has appeared on this show a few times.
The Thunderpants had a whole team of scientist kids.
And as did Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
And
that was a kid, Ryan?
No, and that kid there was probably one of the best kid actors we've had on the show. I really liked him. Ah, what a look. Claws on her gloves, like nails on her gloves. What a fashion statement.
The very first thing that popped into my head when the car rolled up and also when it like pans up to the building in 2 seconds from now was like, how come Disney can get away with just Devil, and Dragon Ball can't get away with Mr. Satan? What's going on with that? That's a sin.
But Disney has more money.
That's not a. I care more about Mr. Satan and Hercule getting the acknowledgement he deserves.
What was the hell thing in Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, in the English dub they changed it to HFIL, which stood for Home for Eternal Losers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
With an I.
Someone got a paycheck for that.
Yeah.
Someone
got paid money.
Well, here's the thing. Cruella de Vil is obviously shorthand for Cruel Devil.
Of course.
And isn't she? She really is evil.
Yeah, but she is great.
She's the best character.
It was around this point in the movie where I realised that I had actually set my playback to quite slow.
What?
And I was watching it, and I was like
slow motion?
Yeah, and the whole thing, and I was watching it, and I was going, man, Glenn Close has a deep voice. Like I was like, okay, I guess she's just got one of those voices.
Just for reference points, we're nearly 8 minutes into the film as well, so we enjoyed the first 5 minutes being like, slow pace, but good.
Yeah. Well, this was like 15 minutes for me.
We've had guests that have watched zoomed in copies. We've had guests that have watched copies with symbols over it. We've had guests that have watched copies of this mirrored, but I've never had a guest that's accidentally watched it in slower motion.
Yeah, no, my copy had a border.
You know what? I think that's less weird than some of the ones you listed. At
no, but they're more usual things on your YouTube.
You know that means I technically watched this for longer than you guys did.
Yeah, that means you love it more.
It's my favourite movie.
Ryan, how jealous are you?
Well, I'm jealous that Percy from Blackadder's in this. And he's probably one of the best characters as well, even though he appears in 3 scenes, all of them back to back.
I was hoping he'd be in more, but he's an Act 1 character.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you something about Lonzo.
Hit me.
I had seen this film as a kid. I'm pretty sure I saw either this one or the second one in the cinema. I have very vivid memories of seeing Glenn Close's Cruella de Vil in the cinema. Can't remember which one. Probably the second one, because I would have been 3 when I saw this. And all I thought was, as a kid, I grew up on this film, and I always thought, for some reason, I ingrained it in my brain. It's never mentioned in this. I always went, "Oh yeah, Percy." I was like, Alonzo. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's her husband." Yeah, she's just got a really emasculated husband.
She wears the pants.
Yeah, and I've always said this, and then I watched it last night, and I'm like, oh, that's not her husband, that's just some guy. I always went, oh yeah, that's her husband. That's her husband. I'm the idiot.
Ryan, what kind of household did you grow up in?
Can I just ask you guys?
The one where my mum wore the pants.
See, this actress, I didn't know.
Who, Glenn Close?
No. When she bloody goes away.
Jolie Richardson.
Yeah,
we know her quite well.
I didn't know her at all.
We know her sister.
And maybe unpopular opinion time. Is she terrible?
No, she's great.
Because it was only a couple of lines prior to this. Cruella says something, and she responds. She responds with, "Oh no, if I left, it wouldn't be for another job." But, but it was the most. Oh no, if I left, it wouldn't be.
No, it's because she's. Job. Sam, I can answer that. She's British.
I saw that
coming. No, Bartek. Do we know her sister?
Yes.
Who's her sister?
Her sister, she's passed away.
She was
in
the mother in Parent Trap.
Yes.
But we know her as well because she was Queen Longneck in Vampire Academy.
Oh, really?
We've covered a lot of movies.
I don't know.
Sam, in our 101 episodes, we've had many actors that have frequented our viewing experience several times. She was prominently in a film known as Vampire Academy, and in that film, in 2014, she's aged, and she has quite a long neck. And I was watching this film, and I noticed how they gave her turtlenecks for good portions of it to hide her long neck. Her sister, who's another actress, was the wife of Liam Neeson.
Natasha or Natalia?
Natasha. Yeah. She was in The Parent Trap, the Disney classic with Lindsay Lohan as the mum, and she's dead now. And I guess this actress that you just asked, is she terrible? Well, she's taking on her sister's dream.
Well, she wasn't dead at this point.
No, but she's
at
still...
the risk of being completely heartless?
You are heartless.
But
was Glenn Close good?
Glenn Close was amazing.
She was fucking
But the one thing I couldn't
brilliant.
get out of my head was just, oh no, if I left, it wouldn't be for another job. The one thing I needed to make known was that when she... also, every time I referenced Cruella, I didn't write Cruella, I wrote Glenn Close every time.
Oh, I did that too in my notes.
You'll definitely remember her now.
When she grabs the pages of the dogs and she's like stroking the pages.
Yeah, with her gloves.
Yeah, she reminded me of like, you know, the original Batman TV show.
Yeah.
And they had all the really cooked villains and they had the bookworm.
Yeah.
And his power was he had like the lamp on his head and he could like instantly memorize pages by rubbing his hands on it. Like,
my favourite thing is the fact that you memorised a very obscure Batman villain from the 1960s show, but Glenn Close, you're like, who's this?
I didn't know Glenn Close.
Who's this woman?
Sure,
she was
She wasn't in Batman, was she?
No, she wasn't.
Well, there you go, Ryan.
Sam Corr's reference point for everything is Batman. Now, I've kind of...
Dragon Ball Z.
I've already answered this question, but what's our history with this film? Have we seen this before? Have we heard of this? And also, let's just go, what's our relation to the famous animated classic as well?
I think I've definitely seen the poster for this film before.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And as for the other film, 101 Dalmatians, the animated one from, I think, 61, I have no idea if I have seen it, but chances are that if I had seen it, it might have been the Polish dub when I was, like, really young.
Oh.
So, entirely unsure.
Okay. That's okay.
I've also played Kingdom Hearts, where the Dalmatians are collectibles.
Oh, and Cruella's a villain?
So, I mean, you've pretty much seen all the movies then.
Yeah, he's nailed it. Yeah, he's got it.
Just from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, there you go. What about you, Sam?
I'd never, as I said, I'm terrible with movies. I'd never seen this one. I'd never seen the cartoon. I knew that one of them was like iconic, but I didn't know if it was the cartoon or the live action one. So the whole time I was like, this could either be terrible or this could be the best thing ever. So I was really trying to be on the fence, you know. It's strange because on the one hand it's a very Disney movie in that all that Cruella really wants to do is to wear fur to a fashion event, and that's her big evil scheme. But then when it gets right down to it, it's like, oh my god, she's gonna skin dogs.
Well, yeah. That's it. You know, Disney has the guts. You know.
Well, she doesn't want the guts. She wants the skin.
I know. The guts to, have a character so despicably evil. Here's something in the trivia was mentioned. Glenn Close actually, as an actor's prerogative, took it upon herself to include more salacious dialogue because she felt that the script had Cruella a bit too PC.
Yeah, too soft.
Too soft. So she added some lines like, bludgeon them, and some of the more iconic lines that she has in this film, some more cruel lines. She kind of probably had the say on those.
Devilish lines.
Some of the more DeVille lines. She put that in. That's her choice, and I actually respect it, because Cruella is, in the animated film, one of the best villains they have, really dastardly. She's just despicable, she wants to kill animals, puppies, and wear them, and there's no ifs and or buts if she's good or evil, and a lot of those old-fashioned Disney villains...
No redeeming moments?
God, no! She smokes, she kills animals, and she drives terribly.
Are you telling me that the character whose name is basically Cruel Devil doesn't have
is a bad
redeeming moments?
Yeah, you know how in old-fashioned Disney movies, all of the villains are evil and despicable, but they have something about them where there's a vagueness there, like Maleficent is vague. It's kind of like she's just the embodiment of evil because she didn't get invited. And then, that's really it. And then
Frollo wants to hug a girl.
No, I'm talking about the old films, right?
Yeah.
And then you have, something like, the evil stepmom. She's just a woman who wants money and works the stepdaughter into slave submission. But Cruella DeVille... No, but I'm saying, those are, not as evil whoopsies. Like, Maleficent literally turns into a dragon, but it's kind of like, why? So then when you have the Angelina Jolie movie, they're like... Maleficent's not the bad guy. She's the good guy. Guess what? They're doing a new Cruella DeVille movie with Emma Stone, and they're trying to take that angle.
No.
Yeah, they're trying to do that angle too. And I'm like, did you not fucking watch it? Cruella DeVille is out and out evil.
Ryan,
also, why wouldn't you cast Glenn Close again? She's still available.
What, Ryan, hold on. We should take a deep breath because this might be on our show someday.
would she not? She definitely should have led with the part that it was her dog.
No.
Before she beamed him over the head.
But Sam, haven't you ever met, a woman in a park when you've accidentally mistook your dog for hers and she hit you with her brick that she carries in her purse.
You know what? Now that you've said that, it just reminded me of this is a very relatable scene, actually.
It's kind of, an everyday situation that happens,
that's right.
It's not like she could tell her dog apart from the other one because they both got spots.
That's right.
Which Dalmatians are famous for. Have you guys ever owned a dog?
My grandmother used to have Doberman, so I was around some when I was younger.
Oh, nice. Did you have 101 of them, though?
101 Doberman?
Yeah.
I didn't sell as well.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I've had many a dog. My favourite was a little Jack Russell. I had for many a year. She lived to 17 years old, which was a long
impressive.
innings for a dog. Heaps of dogs, man.
How many do you go through?
I moved from house to house, and there's always one there. Or...
There's always a dog waiting for you.
Yeah,
every house you go
it's
to.
just fantastic. Most recent one was a pug. I was a big fan of the pug.
My dad in
the
Poland.
pug. You say like fan in past tense.
Also, because I don't live with the pug anymore. I moved out. But do you know what the pug's name was actually?
Oh my god, was it 101?
No, it was Pug.
Pugsley?
Pug.
It was just Pug. It was just.
That's
Pug
like the lamest name.
Mate, I've got a cat up in Kangaroo Ground whose name is Cat.
I hate.
Responds fondly to it.
Yeah, at least I was going with
meows.
Pugsley.
But Cat's like a name that you can have, like.
Well, it's short for Catherine, right?
It was out of like
or
detest.
Catty DeVito.
I can't. Like he looks like absolute shit, and
Well,
tried
it's
to
because-
steal her dog, and is acting like a cunt. And she wants to shag him because they have the same kind of dog. This is literally the worst thing since the whole Batman v Superman same name of the mum thing. Like,
No, Sam, I'm gonna have to stop you here.
All right.
He fell in a lake,
Oh,
pond or
and now
river.
he's all wet.
No, hold on. She doesn't like him too much here, but guess what? In a little bit, she's gonna relate to him because she's gonna fall in that exact same river. And then they're going to give each other that look. You know the look.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've done that too.
I'm in a river.
You want to come to my place so you can set your clothes on fire?
Seriously, that was huge.
And have some marriage?
Can I tell you guys my one negative about this film?
Yeah.
Just one?
I only have one.
This is one of the greatest films ever made.
This is one of the greatest films I've made. I have one. And it is what I was praising this. I was writing this in my notes as a praise. I went, they're really restraining themselves when it comes to CGIing the animals. Because the first hint of CGI is the pups are getting born and Jeff Daniels is talking to his dog and his dog kind of raises his eyebrows and it's like, that was a little bit of use of CGI, but I was like,
I didn't notice that actually.
It was like, that's restrained. But as the film went on, the puppies became more CGI and I was just like, oh, what happened to the real pups?
I'll give the film
There was one bit where it was just like, all they needed to do was make the pups look to the left, and they used pups' bodies, but then they CGI'd their heads to move to the left, and I was like, why?
I'll give the film this, Ryan. I only really noticed one instance of CGI.
Oh,
and
when?
It was when one of the puppies were going down the slide.
Oh,
there
that
was
had
a
to be done like
couple
that.
of
That was,
slidey ones where I noted. That was the only times that stuck out to me as well.
those had to be practical, because you can't actually do that to a dog.
True, you cannot throw a tiny puppy down a slide. That is true.
I mean, I'm not but look, the effects were pretty good considering out of all the types of dogs to CGI, Dalmatians are probably one of the best because of their unique striking look and their texture of being white is more applicable to CGI use because, you got to get the colour and the fur and the texture right, and white is very simple and plain and it works quite well.
Just then, before she fell into the lake, Jeff Daniels shouted, "Look out."
Did she?
As if she wasn't, yeah.
Well, he'd, first of all, Ryan.
No, but did she look out?
She was looking there the whole time, but it was the fact that she wasn't stopping that the problem
Yeah,
was.
the looking she wasn't having an issue with.
Little plot hole, but that aside, it's not a huge deal, but later when I read the YouTube comments, one of the comments relates to that moment. So just so we're not confused, that's what that will be talking about in like 2 hours.
The only note, I had two notes for this scene, and the first one was...
He's looking better now.
He's
charming.
Warmed up by his fire, and he's got his Jeff Daniels face on, and
He looks like a turkey.
they're all
He doesn't look dumb.
having coffee and that. So yeah, and now they're going, well, our dogs want to fuck, so
Well, we have to fuck.
so that naturally,
Well, you know what they say. You want a cup of marriage?
Oh my, that whole thing. The only thing, the big note I had for this, when he offers the tea.
Yeah, cup of marriage.
And she goes, yeah, I'll have some tea. In just caps, I had, she doesn't want the tea. She doesn't want the tea at all.
Are you sure? Because she said she did.
Look, man, look, I'm gonna have to challenge you on that.
Are you saying she wanted the D?
Or the C. We don't, or the V. We don't know if she's straight fully. She could be bi.
Maybe she wants the me, as in Jeff Daniels saying that.
I find it really weird that like they start to get busy, but like so do the dogs. So like the two new couples are just kind of fucking in like opposite corners of the room.
I like how I knew you were going to do that. They're in the same room, like not in different rooms.
No, of course they're in the same room.
Honey, the dogs are humping. We better get on track.
They've established that they just do everything with their dogs. Of course, they're going to have sex in the same room.
There aren't really any boundaries in their home for dogs.
They're not even like, let's put the dogs outside. They're like, let's just leave our clothes to...
Let's not have our clothes catch fire.
It's just another reason for her to stay over.
It's like they haven't gotten up yet. To check on their clothes.
Is the fire to say that they do pause and get the dogs outside because this is a G-rated movie and they had to address the fire and then said,
the fire was an indication of their passion.
Well, I'm going to blow your mind, guys, because Bartek nailed it right there. Because the fire is symbolism. Because think of the visual storytelling that has happened. We went from fire, which could represent hell and passion, and then we faded to a religious picture. Zooming out, panning out to a religious ceremony, which is a wedding.
One of the sacraments.
I'm not saying that this is a Jewish film, but it's clearly not, because it's clearly Christian-oriented.
Yeah, they're not stomping on glass or anything.
This isn't Keeping Up with the Steins. This is...
That's a bar mitzvah.
101 Dalmatians. But that's a Jewish film.
Yeah.
You're right. The dogs, they also got married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they even bow here, I think.
Yeah, but you know what's something funny? When Jeff Daniels looked, I'll tell you what I thought he was looking at. I thought he was looking over and he was like... Because he had this look on his face like, oh my. Like, not a, oh, how sweet. He was like, oh my. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, it's Cruella de Vil in some fucking horrendous outfit. And he's like, I hate this bitch. And she'll be like... here, and she'll be like looking at the married couple with that contempt that she has for them.
And holding I was like, cross upside down.
Smoking the cross.
Upside down.
And smoking in the church. And I thought, oh, okay. But then it wasn't. And then I had an intense disagreement with my girlfriend, and I want to get your opinions.
Okay.
Do you think it was right of them not to have invited Cruella de Vil to their wedding? Because this is sometime later. We've already established that Cruella de Vil likes her and wants to... And this was my argument. I said that they should have, because Cruella de Vil... whether it was sinister intense or not, most likely sinister intense, kind of indicated that we should move more in social circles outside of work. Like, not just in work circles, but social circles. And she's like, sure. And then they didn't invite her to the wedding. Do you think that's unfair? I mean, Cruella's evil, but
I think if they didn't have the whole line about how she doesn't want her to get married, then maybe yes. But after that, I'd probably hesitate as well.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, given kind of her actions over the rest of the film, I think that they would have a right to be quite nervous that Cruella wouldn't just rock up and start skinning half of their wedding guests.
But here's the thing. You're saying that upon retrospect of actions, right? But of her actions later. But to them in the film, they were genuinely surprised at the revelation that she stole their dogs. It was like, it took them a little bit of time, and then they were like, oh my god.
There was a lot of dramatic irony going on.
Oh my god, it's her. It wasn't like they were like automatically like, oh, Cruella, get her.
I wonder if it was Cruel Devil. Maybe that's why she wasn't at the wedding. She was invited, but the religious stuff creeped her out.
You know, it really seemed to me like the start of the movie up until them getting married almost could have been like a prequel that came out after, and the movie really could have started from here, like from Hugh Laurie and Arthur Weasley. Coming in, and it could have started here. Like, it's all ambiguous, you know, what are they talking about?
I would love a Disney kids film to open up with just people getting ready to skin dogs. I would fucking love that, Sam. I would That would be, and them opening up with, now don't you look at this guy's throat that got bitten off by a fucking dog, and you'll be like, I love that.
And they're not allowed to put touchstone pictures in front of it. It has to be the Cinderella castle.
There is no opening credits shot. It goes straight from black to that. That would be great. Oh, there's Percy again.
Because they have 101 Dalmatians to use, the opening credits sequence could be a big CGI, and like the credits are written in spots. You know what I mean?
Well,
they
have
101 dogs to get it.
This
right.
could all be for the Cruella movie that they're making. Absolutely. With Emma Stone.
We better be quiet before they start taking it.
They're going to take Disney. You could buy us if you want.
We're watching you, mate.
We're more expensive than Fox, so sorry.
I hope they had more Blackadder actors in it.
I would love it if Rowan Atkinson's her dad. Rowan Atkinson as Cruella DeVille's father, and he's the same character as he was in Scooby-Doo.
And who would Tony Robinson play?
Tony Robinson? Her son.
You said Emma Stone, right?
Yeah.
Emma Stone's son is Baldrick.
They use de-aging on him.
Yeah, they've got good at that, right?
Look at Johnny Depp in the new Pirates movie. They de-aged him. It looked great. Fantastic
Sam, you
film.
said earlier that you recognize Hugh Laurie. What do you recognize him from?
Oh, so many things. This is probably the one thing that I actually know about is Hugh Laurie stuff. I know, like, I've seen him in House and stuff like that, and I've also, more importantly to me, seen his music as well. He does an awesome cover of St. James Infirmary Blues. Mm-hmm. Very good piano
He is
player.
very good. He's a very good piano player indeed.
Yeah.
He kind of, throughout his career as an actor, he'll use any opportunity he can to kind of highlight that in things, like in episodes of TV shows. He might sit at a piano and just kind of play it out and be like, yeah, look, I can do that.
Yeah, great. And he can.
And he can.
So totally.
I was going to be really blown away by Sam Corr being like, yeah, I know Hugh Laurie from that great show Jeeves and Wooster. And I'm like, what?
I know all those shows. Like
the British classics. Blackadder being one of the classics.
All the Blackadder stuff. And every time he would have done a thing with like Stephen Fry. All the old school BBC stuff, man. I used to froth that. I used to froth
and
like the young ones.
Bartek mentioned Stuart Little. He was the dad in Stuart Little.
I can't help you with Stuart Little, mate.
You never watched Stuart Little?
I think I did. I think I repressed it.
The film literally written by M. Night Shyamalan.
So, you mean that one guy from the Cards Against Humanity cards that everyone always just vetoes that card every single time?
You don't know who that is?
Of course I know who it is. No one else does. I think
they're all racists.
I think every game of Cards Against Humanity I've ever played has been like, we've gotten to that card and we've vetoed it.
I've won with that card so many times. You just don't play in the right social circles, mate.
What is the card?
I think I play in the wrong...
No. The card is just M. Night Shyamalan. An M. Night Shyamalan twist.
It's in M. Night Shyamalan's new movie. The twist is blah,
blah, blah, blah. And they have another card that you answer with an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Honestly, I think I'm hanging out with the wrong social circles by playing Cards Against Humanity in the first place, because it's a game that's so dependent on people's senses of humour, and of course they're all different, so it's a game that's doomed from the beginning.
I like it.
I don't even know what Hodor is, and it's in a lot of the cards.
Well... It's okay, Bartek. You're playing the Game of Thrones edition.
They've got this thing now called What Do You Meme? And it's such a better version of Cards Against Humanity.
What do you meme?
It just comes with pictures, and they're just well-known memes. We're talking about like Pepe or like the Chloe girl doing the face and stuff like that. And then it just comes with captions, and you just have to put the funniest caption.
I have seen that. Oh, no,
shitloads better, man.
Pepe, Trump's favorite meme. He was so good at
Trump's favorite meme.
You know about Pepe, right?
It's become like a hate symbol.
It's become So it used to be fun, happy meme, but then Trump became
sad, but
no, but you know what I mean. They was used for fun. It was used for happy fun, for the reflection of sadness. Yeah. But then Trump was running for president, and the alt-right neo-Nazis used it for their own imagery, and now it's used as a symbol of hate.
Oh, so Pepe's dead now.
And the guy
Pepe is evil now.
And the guy who created Pepe is really pissed about that. He's trying to take it back, but I don't think he's succeeding.
No, because Trump is the president. It's kind of like, you know, I'd love to watch. That's a movie. That's a James Bond movie right there. No. James Bond has to find out who's turning Pepe into a neo-Nazi symbol
and restore him to his proper faith.
And then he goes all the way to the top to the White House, and it's just Trump played by Alec Baldwin doing his Saturday Night Live impression, and he's just like, It's me.
Now, right, I'm not too familiar with James Bond, but they're always reflections of the period they're made in.
Yeah, that's memes.
So memes have to appear eventually.
You know what they say, tomorrow never memes. That would be the name of it, tomorrow never memes.
Totally, but then, have you guys seen Black Panther yet?
No.
I mean, that only came, at the time of us recording this, that only came out probably not even a month ago, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing, at one point,
I know.
the sister, I forget her name.
What are those?
What are those?
Yeah.
Oh, you tell me that's not going to be dated in a year.
It was dated then.
Yeah.
Ryan didn't believe me when I told him
Joan. If you guys haven't seen Black Panther, it doesn't matter, because this is so
It's just a
minute.
meme.
I haven't seen it. Bartek went to the cinema to see Black Panther. I saw him like the next day. We were doing the podcast, and he was telling me about it. And he was like, "Yeah, and they have a what are those reference?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, you know, the meme. What are those? And I actually sat back and I was like, "No, no, you're lying." I was like, "You're lying," because I have more. Like, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. Like, I do like them. They make competent movies, and their humor is a bit broad, but they're never that pandering and like. No, you're lying. No way. And I've heard it from other sources. And I'm like,
your girlfriend immediately piped up and said, "Yeah, it was in that video we watched."
And I was like, nah, that's a lie. But you know what doesn't use memes? 101 Dalmatians.
No.
It uses great character design and arcs. You know, the arc of Cruella de Vil. At the start, she doesn't know what she wants to kill and wear. But by the end, she knows she wants to kill and wear these dogs.
At the start, she laughs, but at the end, she's not laughing.
And I mean...
Yeah, she's screaming because a skunk sprayed her.
Our main characters start off as very plain, boring, individual people.
You mean Jeff Daniels, yeah?
And they finish up as very plain, boring people who are married.
Which is
that's good for them.
Hold on. They start off as very boring, plain people who don't have 101.
That's true. They only had 15.
and only have one kid on the way.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the film, they have 101 and a kid and another on the way.
Got more than they bargained for.
And you know what the big twist is?
It's a dog.
It's a dog. Imagine that. She gives birth to a puppy.
Isn't that a twist in a
But also it's not a natural birth. It comes out like a face hugger from an alien. This like Dalmatian's head just at the...
Yeah. No, here's the thing. I haven't watched this film since I was a kid. It's been a very, very long time.
Yeah. And you know that Alonso's not her husband now.
And I haven't watched the animated one in an even longer time. And I was watching this with my girlfriend, and I was asking her to remind me of things. I was like, oh, okay, so when do they get 101 Dalmatians? Because I assumed it was like on The Simpsons in that episode where Santa's little helper impregnates a bitch, and they give birth to literally over 100 puppies, and Mr. Burns wants to make vests out of them. And I was like, why isn't she giving birth to 100? And Rachel's like, no, it's 15. And then at the end, when they save all these puppies, it adds up. And I'm like, oh, and the parents are included as well. I'm like, oh, so 103 Dalmatians. No. The puppies, there aren't 101 of them.
No,
There's
you see,
100.
Ryan, in Kingdom Hearts, you collect the puppies 3 at a time, but then you'd only go up to 99, so you have to include the 2 parents.
Yeah, that works. See, even Kingdom Hearts got the continuity of the storytelling.
See, I knew I should have beaten Kingdom Hearts. Man.
Now, apparently this is
letting me down on this podcast.
This is in the animated film as well, but I was shocked to see it in this film as well, that they included the puppy dead sequence.
Oh, I made a
That
note
was
about
full
that.
on.
I just wrote down. I just said, "Holy shit! Did a puppy die?"
Yeah,
But then it's
like
even
this
worse because they bring it in.
It's like this layout scene. It's like, oh, there's 1, no, there's 2, 3, 4, 15, and back
and
14.
Yeah.
And then they bring it in, and you see its little dead nose, and you're like, oh my god. And then you know what brings it back to life? Robbing.
Mini CPR. I mean, he came back to life, and I was actually so genuinely invested. Like when it was coming back to life. Dogs are such an easy heart tug, man.
And you know what his name is? Lucky.
Yep, got him.
Good job.
Got him.
Yeah. And at that point, it was coming up. I was like, oh, but now they're going to give birth to the rest of the 100, right?
No.
I didn't realize that there was only 15.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I was
as
like,
you
oh,
guys.
it's a movie. There'll be like 99 children.
I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that like 80 4 of them would be like adopted or something.
This happens, and I'm kind of going, oh yeah, well I guess it'd be pretty nutty to have like 100 literal
86.
dogs in a house. So I can understand why they're not actually doing that. Maybe they should have called this movie 15 Dalmatians. But
and then that would be lame.
I'll let it slide.
No, they named one of the Dalmatian pups actually 87.
Now here's something. You guys haven't seen the animated film before.
I might have.
You might have, but it's been a while. So let's just, you don't remember. Like, if I'm going to say,
and if it's true,
what's the differences between this and the original?
Are you going to tell me that Lucky also carks it in the
No, that's in the animated one as well. He carks it and they bring him back to life with rubs. Yeah, that's consistent.
Cool, man.
In the original, he's not a video game designer, but a composer.
Oh.
A songwriter, and he gets inspired. Well, not in this way, but he has the famous song "Cruella de Vil," which they play at the end of the credits. That's from the original movie.
Yeah, I want to talk about
Cruella de Vil, and that's him talking after having met her because she's so despicable. And stuff like that,
Right.
and.
That's a lot better. As much as I love video game dev kid, sorry mate, that composer thing is great.
But I liked how he got inspired by real life Cruella de Vil and then used her real life name as the villain.
Is the singer of that song like his voice actor from the?
I think it's a different voice doing the song.
Is he American or British in the end?
Oh, they're all British.
Okay.
But it's him doing like it is in context somewhat makes sense because he's trying to come up with a song that's different and original and new, and he gets inspired by her and he does like a jazzy kind of.
Yeah, it was very catchy.
Yeah, it's very catchy. I can't remember if that's an Oscar-winning film because no, it can't be because they didn't do animated films till like 2000.
Yeah, Shrek was
the first Oscar-nominated film that was animated for Best Picture was Beauty and the Beast. Now, here's something I'm going to ask you.
I need to get this off my chest.
Get it off
really, really quick before we dive
Is it
into
that
this.
Nanny doesn't have a name and that's kind of weird?
It's that that too. I definitely made a few notes about how lucky they are to just have a very generic, all-purpose, 24-hour-a-day nanny to just fix all their problems.
She's British.
Well, that'll do it.
I
wrote down that when he jumped up and just said Nanny,
Shut yourself.
Yeah, I absolutely busted gut laughing. Like, all I could just hear was like, Nanny, like, oh my god.
She's a returning actress to our show. She was in the great film Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin and Queen Latifah. And here's something, now you may not have seen this film, but for people who know and for people who don't, in both films she plays a very posh Britishy type of woman. But here's another connection. In both films, she suffers from a home invasion scenario. And in both films, she kicks their ass for a little bit of it. Like she doesn't just go quietly or easily. She actually puts up a heck of a fight. That's one of my favorite little gags in this, when she has them in the hallway and she's in the middle of both Hugh Laurie and Arthur Weasley. They're one's in front of her, one's behind. But she somehow has managed the brute force to smack them against either side of the corridor walls. And I'm like...
Is she going to be in Tekken 7?
She'll be DLC, correct?
Yeah, no, not even DLC. They make a new Tekken, and she's like
Tekken 8.
She's the flagship character.
What's her name?
Nanny.
Joan. I think on Wikipedia and IMDb,
Joan Plowright.
I think it's Nanny the housekeeper.
Oh my!
So her name is Nanny.
It might be.
That's fantastic.
Here's a big question I'm gonna ask you. This is a live action one of a animated Disney classic.
Yes.
This is very common now. We've got Jungle Book, we had Cinderella, and
Beauty and the
Beast, Maleficent, all that. All these reimaginings. But what is your favorite animated Disney film? What's your favorite one? What's the one that you go to, like that classic? Like, yeah, this is my favorite of theirs.
Do we count Pixar?
Jeez.
No.
Okay.
Don't count Pixar.
Sorry, mate. Toy Story don't count.
I'm still thinking about it. I was just saying, is that a factor? But if it's not a factor...
It's not.
Which ones have I seen?
I mean, part of not being great with movies means I'm also not great with Disney films.
Didn't you grow up on them?
No, not really. But I
spoiler
can
alert,
tell you
Mufasa dies.
the ones. That was what I was going to say. Probably the two that I kept coming back to would have been The Lion King and Aladdin.
Everyone loves Aladdin.
There was. I just want to
Lion
put it
King.
out there.
I definitely had in polished dub.
The Aladdin game on the Super Nintendo helped a great deal. That game was fucking tight. Capcom, you did a good fucking job.
Good music.
Good job.
Was
Robin Williams. I can't believe you were so good as the genie that you turned up in the game as the real life genie. Like you rub the cartridge or whatever, and he comes out.
100%.
Isn't that the one with a roulette where like his fingers?
It's his finger. Yeah.
Classic genie. My favorite.
It's beautiful.
My favorite. It's one of the ones where I don't watch it too much because it is my favorite. Like I have that attitude with it. Is there Robin Hood? The one with the fox as Robin Hood and all the creatures and all of that. And it has like, Sir Hiss, and he's a snake and he hisses, and I love that. It's just like, it doesn't hold back with the gruesomeness. Like the Sheriff of Nottingham is just such an asshole and a sleazy and duplicitous and evil.
I have no idea if I've seen it.
It has good music. It has good storytelling. And out of the Renaissance, which is like, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, my favorite's Hunchback of Notre Dame. I love the music. I love the story. I love the villain. I like the woman. I like the hunch on the back.
You like the hunch and the back.
Yeah.
There we go.
I wish I had a hunchback.
I definitely remember liking a lot, Aladdin, but I also liked Hunchback and Hercules, I remember when I was a kid.
Man, Hercules is one I hate other than Hades.
I haven't rewatched it in a very long time.
The songs just don't stand up for me, unfortunately. But Hades is great because James Wood comes in and plays it like he's a sleazy car salesman who's like not caring about the time period at all, but everything else is relatively within like the time period. But he comes in, he's like, "Yo, what's up?"
So you're saying the songs don't hold up? Because I still remember some of them.
I just don't like him. Maybe there's not a single.
You don't like gospel music?
I don't know. I think the Zero to Hero is probably the best one, and that's about it. When I go, let's listen to Disney songs, I won't have that in my list. Also, because Hades doesn't have a song. Villain songs are the best songs in Disney movies, and he doesn't get one.
But Ryan, your favourite's Little Mermaid, isn't it?
The villain song? Ursula's song, Poor Unfortunate Souls, is great.
Film.
It's alright. I like Ursula, and I like her dad.
I remember a few years ago you said that you didn't like Little Mermaid, so I was making that.
I don't. It's okay for girls, but it is one of those ones where it's like, this is for girls, and that's for boys. Girls, you get Little Mermaid. Boys, you get Aladdin. Well, that's how it feels.
The ones that have like the official Disney princesses tend to be for girls.
Well, see, I on that, I don't know if I would have called Aladdin a typical boys one. I would have said maybe Lion King.
I feel like that's too much for everyone.
It's pretty. It's
got Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Matthew Broderick.
Do you know what? Can I actually, while we're talking about Disney songs, the Genie song in Aladdin, and I'll keep going about Aladdin, but the Genie song in Aladdin is hands down my favorite Disney song.
A Friend Like You?
Friend Like Me.
Friend Like Me.
Yeah.
My favorite is actually also a Genie song, which is Prince Ali. When they're marching through the streets and he's introducing Prince Ali.
That's a close
I think
second,
that might be my favourite from that film.
That's my favourite. That's also one where the villain doesn't really get a song. He gets a reprise song, but only like for a minute. He does Prince Ali as well, but like for literally 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and you're like,
that's tasty.
What did you say the Genie's song was called?
A Friend Like Me.
Friend Like Me.
Isn't there a song in Hunchback of Notre Dame that has a similar name? Like A Guy Like You?
Yeah, but they're very different songs. One film has Jason Alexander. But does any film have Hugh Laurie? That's a Disney film? Don't think so. This is it.
Stuart Little's not Disney, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Is that like a Googleable question?
A goggleable?
A goggleable question?
I actually was sitting here going, have we had Hugh Laurie on the show before? And I don't think so.
I doubt it.
I love Hugh Laurie. He's probably one of my favourite comedic actors. I never got into House because I couldn't get over the fact that he wasn't being comedic.
I've seen episodes on it and it was weird.
It's weird because he also he does too good of a job doing an American accent, because you see these British actors that do their American accents and they do the I'm from nowhere USA accent. No. You know what I mean? Like you see Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange and you're like, what the fuck? Where's he from?
Oh, so you're doing an American accent in there?
Exactly. No joke.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I mean, the ones that I'm seeing is obviously 101
Oh, he's in Tomorrowland.
And Valiant, so he would have voiced a bird.
No, you don't know. There are other animals in Valiant.
Sorry, birds wearing army helmets. Sorry.
Valiant's the one about carrier pigeons during war times. It's really good. We should do it on the show.
Or...
We should do it on the show.
It came out like 2005, I think.
It's got Eddie Izzard in it.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, That's a selling point.
Eddie Izzard. If you like Eddie Izzard,
I do.
watch our Avengers episode.
Is this the Tekken audition?
Wait, hang on, what? What did you just say? Eddie Izzard Avengers? What?
Oh yeah, you should check out the 1990s film, The Avengers.
Oh, not the one with... No, why'd you have to do that? You tricked me.
With Voldemort.
Tricked
With
me.
Ralph Fiennes and Uma
Oh,
Thurman.
it comes into my work all the time, and I
You
see it pop up on
love
the
that
computer.
film.
The Avengers. I'm like, oh yeah, and I check it out, and it's bloody Uma Thurman in the leather.
Yeah, and Sean
what I-
Connery in a bear
That's
outfit.
not what I wanted. I didn't want either of that.
Well, we've done an episode on it if you want to watch and listen.
The Polish title is Revolver and Bowler Hat.
Yeah, great title.
That is great, actually.
Yeah, she just slammed
How
these
did they
two
get
guys.
Avengers out of that?
Oh, well,
Well,
you know.
it's the other way around, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So they just got beat up by an old lady. So the idea that they could somehow beat 101 dogs is not a surprise because really, how could they?
Because old ladies are such a high power level.
Yeah.
A high power.
But if they got
are we
beat
going to
up-
get into power scaling in this video? I've come prepared.
No, but seriously, if she's an old lady, if they can get beaten up by an old lady, that indicates that they are piss weak.
Yeah, Tekken does, I think, need an old lady character.
Do they not have one?
No, they have old men.
Oh, that's
Is
sexist.
Heihachi just old as fuck now?
Well, yeah, but they've always had Wayne.
Oh man, I was always a Street Fighter guy. I was never too Tekken
I was
savvy.
never big on fighting games, but
Wayne?
Tekken was my...
I was more into Hogs of War, the great film.
That's not a fighting game.
It is.
Well, it's a war game.
Yeah, well, you're killing people. There he is.
I just really like the idea that here we are seeing the bulldog again from the start. But I just really like the idea that all the dogs are constantly communicating at like a really highly sophisticated level. Like they're clearly just barking at each other across like
It's like,
states and countries.
well, here's
These
the
guys can't watch the news. They can't look for their dogs in more than half an hour.
Here's another slight negative that it gone to me. I don't know if I like the idea that they can communicate with different species of animals. I thought
But it's a Disney thing, I guess.
I mean, it's a thing in general. Like, all animals can talk to each other, but we can't talk to them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was like, I would have liked it if it just kept showing, like, it panning across and showing dogs just furthering out, and then there's the dog on the farm that's near the mansion, and he'll be like, I saw them! And he comes all the way back. But they have to use birds, and once you get birds, you can just do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it would have been more interesting
Bloody
as a
plot
challenge.
device birds.
What were you going to say about it?
I think I was just going to point out the general again.
You like him. Is he your favourite
I
character?
mean, I just like... It's that whole thing about, like...
The littlest of
He's
characters.
not, yeah, he's not a big player in the film. He doesn't do much, but, like, you kind of get him.
Now, I have a favourite line in this movie. I don't know if you guys noted down any lines
it,
of dialogue.
"Ruff,
No, it's a line by Arthur Weasley. He's
Look at that
What is the
scar.
function of a rubber duck?
no, he was cold. Hugh Laurie and him were cold, and he goes, "Oh my, I don't want to get myself a shrinky winky."
Oh
that,
wow,
yeah.
I did miss that one.
And I went, Disney, good job. You know,
As a 3-year-old, you said that?
no. As a grown man, I said that. As a kid, I went, I don't want that either.
You sympathised.
And empathy as well.
I mean, you were 3, so...
I felt things. Now, dogs, man, they really do pull your heartstrings. They pull them right out of your chest.
Easy angle, man. Easy angle.
Well, that camera...
I'm a bit resistant to it, but, you know...
You like cats.
I do, yeah.
But here's the problem. We've talked about this before. Cat movies don't work compared to dog movies, like with physical dogs, because cats aren't good actors, and
The one in 9 Lives is alright, but...
oh, he was fantastic. And you know, a lot of cats don't. It's hard to get warm expressions from cats.
There is a cat in this film in the barn.
There is.
And he looks very attentive. I liked his performance.
You did?
Yes.
Oh.
He, like, kind of, looked around a bit.
I love cats. That's what Bartek's saying. If you had to...
Can we all meow at the same time?
No.
Oh. No, I'm gonna have a shrinky winky.
A shrinky of the Winkies.
So here was something that I kind of wanted to ask you guys.
Come on.
I was just kind of, especially as I was getting to this point, I was going, wow, they're actually going to try and skin these puppies. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, what would happen if they if they like what would happen to this movie's rating if the villain actually got away with it, right? And then I actually just started thinking of like as a concept, movies where the rating would just shoot through the roof if the villains got away with it.
Oh, a million. Every Disney movie.
I really want to know.
Would Hunchback of Notre Dame end with rape or something?
Hunchback of Notre Dame would end with genocide and rape. And
incredible.
And no, seriously. Well, here's something. Lion King. The villain won in that. Mufasa died. He became king.
And
that was a revenge angle, I guess.
He won.
Yeah, at one point, but then he lost.
No, but he only lost because he was lazy.
He only lost because he won initially. Is that what
he
you're
won
saying?
at one point, but ultimately he loses.
Yeah,
he
had to be up there to
because
lose.
he's Trump. No, that's the greatest thing about
Just
Scar.
wait for the Trump plot twist. He's gonna be like, "All right, enough."
No, that's the greatest thing about Scar is he actually gets everything he sets out to, but then he doesn't follow through. He's like he could help the hyenas, but he just can't be bothered.
He doesn't know.
You remember what he does when he's king? He just sits around and makes Rowan Atkinson sing to him as he shines his claws. That's all he does. He's just lazy
which really
as
is what we'd
fuck.
all do, isn't it?
Yeah. You have that, and that was pretty racy. You know, like
that's a good cat film.
Yeah.
What's that?
Lion King. They're big cats.
I don't know if that counts.
You know, I love one of my favorite memes online is
Is it the snout?
Scar over Mufasa, and he's like, "Long live the king!" And then the next image is both of them standing next to each other. It's like, "Oh, thanks for pulling me up there. Oh, it'd be totally crazy if I didn't." Yeah. He's like, I don't know why, but it strikes a chord.
A more obscure one I've seen is the poster has like I think it's Mufasa's face at the top, and it's like kind of blurred out. And there's a poster that darkens the color of like part of his nose, and it looks like a bikini girl in ass or something.
Oh, that's cute. Maybe they did that on purpose. Now, here's something I want to just throw out there.
Yeah.
I wrote this in my notes. Cruella de Vil's motivation is she wants to wear fur from puppies.
That's right, and upset the fashion event.
Do you think that's her only motivation?
Until now.
Wow.
Well, you're talking about the fashion event. Wasn't it that she wanted to release a new line that people will buy and will make a lot of money?
Yes. But she needs to specifically make one to show off, so then she can do more.
Right, yeah.
So, but did she have any other motivations?
She establishes it pretty early on that money's not really an issue. She says to the butler, she's like, "Can we afford it?" And he's like, well, yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, we'll do it. Done." Not even a thing.
Or any other driving forces to her goals.
Is this foreshadowing to next episode? Or
no, I personally went like this. Now, this is, you could say this is a stretch, but this is an unappreciated masterpiece. This is in there. I think that, you could make the case that Cruella de Vil is an enraged lesbian because she's clearly in love with this woman, and then she gets married, and then she goes on a murder spree. Tries to murder.
You're not wrong.
Well, as Sam said earlier, probably the rating would be through the roof if that was the case.
Hey, Beauty and the Beast that came out last year got in a lot of flack for having Josh Gad be an openly gay character.
Well, Ryan, that's different. He danced with a man.
Did you know that?
How dare he?
Did you know that's how they showed that he's openly gay? Is he danced with another man? And he had this, like, I love Gaston.
Is
and
that
that's
really
it.
all?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Like, his character... You remember his character... Have you seen the original 1990s animated Beauty and the Beast?
I don't know, but I know the story.
His character's the one in the song who's, like, who's singing just like Gaston and all that.
Yeah.
He's the same as that character. Like, in the original. You could make the assumption, he loves him from that. But other than that, he just dances with another guy. Steamy.
Yeah, he's no Dumbledore.
Yeah, Dumbledore, so openly gay, and the material given, so, like, sucking cock. He can't stop.
Remember that time he hit Voldemort with his handbag?
That time he called Voldemort an ignorant slut.
And then he followed up with honey.
You're an ignorant slut, honey, and then snapped his fingers, yeah.
Remember when he called Harry a bitch and winked at him?
Remember that time he said calmly, "Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?"
I did. I certainly did.
There's in the 7th book, the last one, There's a part where Harry's like been hit by the killing curse, and he like wakes up in a
white room,
fucking purgatory state.
Yeah, and it looks like the train station or something. I think in the book he was naked during that scene.
Yes,
and Dumbledore, like, he talks to Dumbledore there. So when I told a friend of mine, like, "Oh, do you know that Dumbledore's gay?" and then he like referred to that scene, he's like, "Do you reckon Dumbledore enjoyed that or something?"
Yes, because Harry.
It was more Dumbledore's dream sequence than Harry's.
Yes, it was Dumbledore.
And Harry just had to die to.
And
go
little
there.
did you know that was actually all of what you watched was Dumbledore's erotic dream. Like, he woke up and he had to change.
Giving Harry exposition while he's naked in a train.
No, the
station.
whole Harry Potter series.
Oh, okay.
The Horcruxes were just missing like the W at the start.
Beautiful. I love Harry Potter. Not
You
really.
know, I've actually got to apologise because I started us off on this tangent, and since then we skipped over the whole part.
Oh no!
With the dogs being transported and various
We're missing a lot of
barnyard animals
dialogue.
across the country communicating to each other, and it was the first time in the movie where it's confirmed where the remaining fucking 84 puppies are.
Well, here's something too. Did you know in the original animated movie, dogs talk?
Like words to each other?
Yeah, because
like,
it's, they're
English words or
they're the
like
main
subtitles?
characters.
Oh, okay.
Kind of. They have names, they have characterizations. One of them's always hungry, one of them's always sleepy, all that kind of shit, right? They talk. But in this movie, they don't talk. Now...
But
they...
Pongo and Purdy are voiced by Frank Welker for some reason.
Because they make barking noises that had to be specific, which is mentioned in the trivia, actually. At the end, the dogs give a bark that sounds like thank you and
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So Frank Welker probably did that. But that's something very interesting because in the original, they talk and they're characters. So when you have to do a live action adaptation of a movie that has talking animals, tricky. Because you could do the cats and dogs approach where you have actual dogs and they CGI their mouths and all of that. I mean, we just did Racing Stripes where that was a prevalent thing going on. But it never looks too good. And I actually commend this film on having the conviction to tell its story visually instead of audio. Because it allows this whole sequence here. We've got another, million out. Half the movie is silence, basically. Like, yeah, you have Hugh Laurie and Arthur Weasley talking, but the animals are the main stars, and they don't talk, they just move, and you understand their motivations, you understand their actions and their wants, desires, and needs. And I actually think that's really, it's really ballsy, because it could have been so easy to have, I don't know, some celebrity voices for the dogs, like, oh, look, it's Polly Shore as
Michael
Lucky.
Madsen as Purdy.
Oh, it would have been Danny DeVito. It would have been... Or maybe
as the dead one, as Lucky?
Absolutely.
It's me, Danny.
It's me, Lucky.
Just the most...
Hurry up and rub me already.
The most gruff dogs actors.
yeah. You have people...
Michael Madsen, Harvey Keitel, Samuel L. Jackson.
Why are you just going to
Tarantino,
Reservoir
aren't you?
Dogs and shit? Like, you're just Tarantino.
Well, they're all swapped up. I didn't say what's his face.
Harvey Keitel doesn't have a deep voice, though.
I can't remember.
Harvey Keitel's like, you do what I say, when I do what I tell you. He's more like, here I am. I'm New Yorker. Here you go. And he's just like, meh. But I would love it if one of the voices for the women was,
The female animals?
yeah, the female dogs. Because they're not all boys.
Yeah.
One of the female pups was actually, would it be a plot twist if it was Queen Latifah? Because it would just be a bringing down the house reunion tour.
Yeah.
And Steve Martin as one of the Dalmatians that it has more black spots than white fur, hair.
Is there anyone else in this film from Bringing Down the House?
No, it's just
Who else was in Bringing Down the House?
Eugene Levy.
That's right.
I would love Eugene Levy as a puppy voice. Also, wouldn't it be great if Stephen Fry was one of the voices so that you can have...
See, that would be fantastic. I feel like he's what's truly missing from this film.
He should have played Arthur Weasley's character, and
He could have played the raccoon.
Where would Arthur Weasley have been?
Oh, he would play Arthur Weasley. This is set in the Harry Potter universe.
Oh, not in this one.
Well, this is the Muggle...
This is
The Animagus or whatever.
If this is the Muggleverse and Cruella de Vil is like a Dementor or whatever, and she's like, I need
Death Eater?
A Death Eater or whatever. She's like, I need fur! Rah! I'd watch Glenn Close as
Voldemort's fur business plan.
No, she's making a Horcrux. She needs to find fur, and she fails, and he's like, you ignorant slut.
And there's Peter Pettigrew.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Gang's all here, man.
McGonagall's the cat.
See, one of the dogs is actually Sirius Black as well.
Oh.
Definitely.
Is he the
Gary
sheepdog?
Oldman! Gary Oldman of Melbourne picked up that clue.
See, what's up? That's what I'm here for.
It's my boy, Sam Corr. Fun fact, Sam Corr. We've covered the film The Corr, and you weren't in it.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was having some trouble getting born at that point.
The Corr was made in 2003.
As I said, I was having trouble. I'm actually 14.
No, they're going to say, still going to be like,
Sorry.
I had trouble getting born at that time because I was already born.
Yeah, well, it's true. From memory,
again.
this is the point in the movie where we start seeing two things. We start seeing a lot more CGI in the puppies.
Yes, I know that.
And we also start seeing some very classic Disney dog-related gags.
I love
dog
dogs.
and villain-related gags. You can probably already fill in the blanks in your head.
Yeah,
is what
one
that's
of the
gonna be.
villains sniffs the other one's butt, and
You
then
got
the
it.
dogs look at them like, what's that about?
Role reversal.
Do you like the fact that one of the four villains also doesn't speak English?
At all? Like, just doesn't speak?
That's that
in
guy.
this
That's
scene,
the-
he's literally tapping on the phone.
Because he can't speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he
It's just
he's doing Morse code through the phone.
And she understands it.
So
That's
she
the best
can
part.
understand Morse code, so she's actually a genius.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. He's disabled, and she is not ableist because she's actually tolerating the fact that he's doing... You know what?
She's employing
She
the
learned
disabled.
Morse code for his behalf.
That's right, to employ him.
Cruella de Vil is actually a nicer person than we gave
But
her
also,
credit for.
it's so that she doesn't have to look at him and look at his scar.
And the one
No,
thing,
she
one
actually
thing we
doesn't mind
didn't,
looking at him.
one thing we didn't address either is how much fucking money she offers them both for the dogs, and how it was for me it was very genuine as like, hang on, is that
Yeah,
where
it's like-
this is gonna go? Are they gonna take the money and then be like, oh no, we
It's like
shouldn't
the
take
initial
money?
price was like, yeah, big, but then she like...
£500, and then seven.
Yeah, that's like
£1,500.
7 times more.
Yeah.
Yeah, she offered to take him out of poverty.
Oh my god, that's Mickey Mouse.
She's offered
Holy
a
shit,
number
is
of
this a
things.
Disney movie?
Oh my
It
God.
is.
Holy
Didn't
shit.
you see Cinderella's castle at the beginning?
What? That was Cinderella's castle? I thought that was Danny DeVito's castle.
Yeah. And also the guy that plays Mr. Skinner in this film, I don't really know what else he's been in, but I know his actor's last name is Shrapnel. That sounds pretty cool.
And his
That is
character
cool.
looks like he's had some shrapnel.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's great. This woman's neck is getting longer as the film
She
goes
just,
on.
She just looks like, you know, those memes, like you see it of like Will Smith and shit a lot, where they just shrink the mouth and shrink the eyes and shrink everything.
She also, I don't know if you've ever seen anything or seen the film itself, she reminds me of the mother from Troll 2.
I can't help you with that
Troll
one.
2 has a famous scene in it which it has this sweaty nerd guy going, they're eating her, and then they're going to eat me. Oh my god! It's supposed to be a serious horror
Yeah,
film.
it's one of those...
Best worst movies
yeah,
ever.
bad films that are fun to watch.
She looks like the insane mother in that film, a bit.
Don't hit her! With him! I'm sorry, it was a son, not a him.
Yeah, real lines of dialogue.
Michael, don't hit him!
Now, this was
Sing that
great.
song for
Look at
me.
this animal training. They actually got the bird on that dog's
I know,
head, and
I
the dog
couldn't-
is not reacting.
Yeah, I
to
couldn't
shit.
stop thinking about that.
That's not meant to be the woodpecker.
It's on his
is it?
nose and
No,
shit.
it's just a
It's a
bird.
different bird.
And it's really great because it's real. Like, that dog flew right on its nose and near its eye, and it wasn't like, get the fuck off! Because you know why? Dalmatians are heroes.
Well, and also,
All
they're
dogs are.
busy looking for their children, and the bird has info. A little birdie's telling them things.
A
I
little
can't
grapevine.
believe that whole scene, that whole thing of them, the bird communicating to the dogs and landing on their faces and shit, was just to say, can you go like 2 meters to the right? There's like a thing you can hop over.
You know what my favorite
Not
part
like-
of the
It's
electric...
realistic advice.
You know what my favorite part of the electric fence thing is? Hugh Laurie later goes out of his way to be like, no, dumbass, we're not going to get electrocuted on this. I have an ingenious plan. Get 3 logs. Put 2 of them next to each other
So
and
that
put
you're
one
and a
on
half
top.
logs, yeah, so that you're 1.5 logs high.
And here's the best part. Stand on the logs and just jump over. But here's how you jump. You put one leg over.
Yeah, so
And
you jump with
then
only
you're going
one
to jump
leg.
over. But here's the thing. The height doesn't add up.
Yeah.
There's no way that you wouldn't get electrocuted from the fence with that plan. If anything, the smarter option would have been to put the log on the fence and kind of just climb on that.
Absolutely what I thought he was getting at.
But you see, Hugh Laurie's a smart man. Yeah, he's the smart one.
Although, even if his plan did work out, there's no way I could see them like landing without like face planning.
No, but it's snow.
Well, yeah, but still,
It's snow. It's fine.
one of them's already cold at that point, so you know.
He had a shrinky winky.
I do appreciate his resourcefulness in finding a weapon so quickly.
Yeah, this was a pretty gruesome scene. How do you want to murder him? Oh, I don't know. Fire poker? You're like, jeez, Hugh Laurie, you're really evil.
So is Cruella's last name Deville or Devil?
DeVille.
Okay, because her license plate had Deville.
Now, here's the thing. Throughout the whole entire film, this could be considered goof or not. It's done differently. So you have capital D, E, capital V, I, L. Just a 1 or 2, I can't remember.
1L.
1L. But then you have one where it's like the D and the E are separate. There's a space. And then you have another where it's like a lowercase d and E and a capital V. And I'm like, well, which is it? Like, which is her name? Choose. They got the Cruella part right.
So her chaotic nature is shown through the infrequency of her name being spelled one way.
Wouldn't it be great if her middle name was
Deborah?
No. It would be something like Patience. Cruella Patience. Mercy. Cruella Mercy DeVille.
Cruella Virtue DeVille.
Virtue. Yeah. Or something just really normal, like
Skullfucker.
That's so normal.
No, Frieza.
Frieza?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's in a Mortal Kombat game.
Final form.
Maybe this one could be Satan.
Sub-Zero.
Satan DeVille.
Old Molasses DeVille. Fun fact, there's a sequence later where Cruella falls into a vat of old molasses. And that's actually Glenn Close. It's not a stunt double. She actually fell in.
Oh, good on her.
She goes full on out. Like, look, I can understand people not liking this film. You know, here's the thing. When I chose this film, I actually went, I don't know. Because in my brain, this film is kind of a big deal for our childhood. Like, it's weird because you guys haven't seen it, but a lot of people, you know, when I grew up, loved this film and talk about, like, yeah, this is actually great. It's because of Glenn Close. Really, to be honest, all because of Glenn Close. Everyone remembers how great Glenn Close is in this movie, and she is great. She's fantastic. And I was worried, like, am I wrong in thinking this? But then, you know, I thought about it. There's lots of critics and there's lots of people now who are going like, yeah, that terrible 90s 101. And then I looked at the IMDb rating and it's like 5.1 or something. And it's just like, really? And it kind of reminded me of Bend It Like Beckham on a level in terms of people loved it when it came out. But as time goes on, people are like, oh, yeah, that one. It's fine. It's okay. But unlike, you know, Bend It Like Beckham has a high rating in comparison to this, and I felt like this is wrong, because if anything, this should have a high rating for Glenn Close as Cruella DeVille, because sometimes, don't you get that when you see someone who's so perfectly cast in a movie that you just go, the movie is elevated because of how well... Yeah, how well they are cast in the film. It's kind of like... You know, in Harry Potter, for instance, you know, everyone's so well cast in the films that, you know, when you hear people who complain about, they didn't include this from the book or this wasn't included, you're like, dude, Robbie Coltrane is Hagrid. Yeah. Dude, there's Kenneth Branagh as Lockhart.
There's still the people who won't stop saying about how Peeves should have been Rick Mayall.
Yes.
And that, of course, that carries some water.
Yes.
You know. I don't reckon that could have been nailed.
At least Peeves is in most of the games, I think.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, that's the thing. You know,
CGI dog.
There he is. We know it's a he because I see a little thing flapping between the legs. That's not his penis. Sorry.
Yeah, this was the one time where I'm like, oh, CGI.
Oh.
I think it held up.
Yeah, well, you noticed it, so it held up.
See, why is it that... I mean, you were saying that it got, like, 5.1s on IMDb, but to me, the only, like, huge thing that's just super, super cheese and super just, like, whatever, is the main two characters who I can't even remember their name, but every like, even these guys, they're fantastic. As far as just kind of, like, the bumbling sidekick villains... they do a bloody great job.
Oh, they're
Cruella de Vil's
fantastic.
But, you know-
fantastic. The dogs are great. There's minimal CGI. It's a movie about dogs. It's
Who
just
doesn't love dogs?
wholesome. To me, it's only the main two characters. So are people trying to tell me that this movie loses fucking 4.9 out of 10 because of the?
And guess what?
Actually-
The main characters don't appear in the last hour of the film,
That's
so
right.
get over yourselves,
Are
guys.
they even main characters?
You know what, guys?
Good question.
I actually would give it a 5.1 out of 5.
Oh, got him. He went there.
We got pooned,
We just got
as
tricked.
the video games players say.
Owned, right?
No, pooned.
We
That
just
sounds
got
sexual.
April Fool's bad.
Bartek, can you explain to me why pooned is sexual?
Because punani means like vagina. in
Punani.
Jamaican.
Ooh, poonanny. You want some poonanny?
I think that was like a Russell Peters bit where he's like, "Oh, my dad doesn't know what punani is."
No, it's from Dude, Where's My Car?
I've seen Dude with My Car. I don't really remember that.
Don't you remember the You Want Some Poonanny scene? Classic. Do you remember in Bubble Boy where there's Poonanny?
I remember
and
Bubble
Poonani?
Boy. Yes, it's just I've seen Dude Where's My Car a million times and I don't remember punani. Maybe I was too young.
Yeah, Bartek's a young man in an old man's body. And I'm an old man in a young man's body. Get out of there. That's not on. One of my favorite moments in this film is I think we've passed it already, but it's a great physical piece of slapstick in which Hugh Laurie is running and he trips over the magazine because it's covered in pee and he slips.
Yes.
While Arthur Weasley runs directly straight into a goblin on the wall. He sees it. It's like well over a meter or two away, and he runs just directly into it. It's not like he turned from a corner and ran into it. No, he just saw it. It was like, that's the one.
Time to tackle.
Not even tackle. Time to hit my head on it. He's a great actor.
Headbutt, then.
We've had him on the show before. He was in Agent Cody Banks 2, Destination London, as Chief of London Police. Mm-hmm. And he was very serious in that movie, Sam. He was like the only serious character, which is weird because most of us know him as Arthur Weasley, who is a comedic character, to say the least.
Yeah.
He's very goofy. He's very... Oh my! He's basically Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. You know, like...
He's fascinated by the Muggle technology.
Why wouldn't you be?
I don't. When he went through the bloody brick railing just now. I don't recall that from the first time. Is he all right?
Well, he literally freezes to death just in a moment. I said when he fell into the pond, I'm like, oh, he's dead. And my girlfriend's like, no, he's fine. So he's come out of the water. And then
I got
watch
some
this.
Terminator 2 flashbacks.
I also said, oh, it's Terminator 2 when he gets some liquid nitrogen. Look, like, he's starting to freeze. He's clinging up. And he's like, I'm just waiting for his leg to snap off and him
Yeah.
looking at it. Look, and he's dead.
I was
Wow.
genuinely worried for him, but then later on he's not fine, but he's
Well, he's cold.
functioning.
He's very
It's a
cold.
bit cold.
But then he gets fire. So
He
he's
might
fine.
he might be the strongest character.
He's the Incredible Hulk of this universe.
the Incredible Arth.
What is his character's name?
It was something like Wallace, wasn't it?
Wallace and Gromit. That's
I think you've cracked the code.
If you had to do a live action version of Wallace and Gromit, you would have him as Wallace, definitely. And Gromit would be Hugh Laurie. He has a great face. I would love it, because the voice actor of Wallace just died last year, so...
Oh, what?
Yeah, he was like well into his 90s, though. He was
You
like
guys have just been
95.
hitting me with sad news.
It's just
the
Ryan.
whole time
Dude,
we've been doing
I'm
this.
going to break some sad news to you now.
Hit me again.
It's sad news, but Hugh Laurie's still alive.
And he's going to make you laugh again.
Yeah,
And make you enjoy
we lost.
his immense musical talent, which is just even more annoying because he's a great comedian, dramatic actor, and musician. Is there anything he can't do?
Yeah.
You know what, right? Most of the actors in this film, they're also
Great.
alive.
And they're also great.
Even Jeff Daniels.
Jeffrey Daniels.
Even Jeff Daniels.
He was in Dumb and Dumber 2.
He was in The Martian.
Was he in The Martian?
He was in the
Yes.
he was in the newsroom and goddamn redeemed himself from Dumb and Dumber status is what he did.
Well, Dumb
feel
and
like-
Dumber was in the early 90s, so...
I feel like he was typecast for a while.
Really? Actually, I was going to
But
say...
even in this, I made a note about when he in the initial part where he's on the bike and the dog's yanking in him, and they make a point of him going down the stairs on the bike and him doing the Dumb and Dumber face where he's like,
Ooh!
and
That's
they
just his
cut
natural face.
back to it a couple of times. They're really like, look, we got him to do the thing, you know.
But later on he said, look out.
Now, here's something. You know, this is a kid's film, and I respect it for not being too condescending.
This
like,
is a kid's film?
It's for children.
Which kid?
Billy.
Oh, it's Billy's film. Okay.
Billy the Goat.
I was worried about him. It's good he has one.
He really does look like Wallace. I'm not joking. Look at him.
I mean, do we acknowledge the elephant in him that he's doing whiteface?
Don't worry, we'll be in blackface in a minute.
Horrible. Why did
And
just
Hugh Laurie was
try
doing
and
a silly
whitewash
face.
everything? You know what I mean?
God.
Like
Scarlett Johansson, stop playing Asian characters. It's a hint.
It hasn't been Arthur Weasley this whole time. It's been Scarlett Johansson.
The people who own what's it called, Ghost in the Shell, were happy about her casting.
Yeah, but oh my God, you haven't seen it. Do you not know
The film itself,
the
I
Ghost in the
haven't seen
Shell? Oh,
I've only seen the original film.
Detour for a moment, guys. So in the new Ghost in the Shell movie...
Oh wait, you've told me about this.
Yes, in the
she
new
has
Ghost...
an Asian mother or something?
Yeah, so in the new Ghost in the Shell movie, there was the... Oh my God, Scarlett Johansson's whitewashing this Asian character, and they're like, no, it's fine. The original creators of it are fine with it, and Asia's fine with it because they like just seeing their things. But here's the problem.
They like the fact that a big name Hollywood actress.
Here's
can bring
the
them into
problem.
their series.
Scarlett Johansson's like a robot woman. Her body died or something, and they made a new one or whatever bullshit. You find out that her original form was an Asian woman.
What?
So Scarlett Johansson within the film literally is a whitewashed character. She goes to visit her old Asian mother, and the old Asian mother's like, "You remind me of someone," and it's like she looks nothing like her at all. It's great.
So it's because the robot's white.
10 out of 10.
You know what? No one. This is a bit of a stretch, but this is where my brain went. No one can tell me.
Okay.
In 17 again.
That Zac Efron's gonna
Grows
grow up to be Matthew Perry.
No one can convince me of that. There's no way.
No joke. I have that movie on my list to cover, and in the list, I always have in my brain when I see it, I go, the reason I want to do that is so that I can make the statement at the start, which is, I can't wait for Zac Efron to grow up to be Matthew Perry.
I remember chucking it on, right? And of course, it's got Zac Efron on the front, and then it turns and it starts, and I'm going,
like, it's Matthew.
why is Matt Perry in this movie? And then he goes young, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me! Like
Zac Efron really let himself go.
Ryan, have we just picked a guest for that film?
Yeah, Matt Perry.
To Matt Perry. Should he have not been more of like a younger version of, say, Joey?
Oh, definitely.
Like, immediately.
If you had to choose one of the friends, it's definitely Joey.
Even Ross?
No, not Ross.
Zac Efron would more likely grow up to Ross than Matt Perry.
You'd more likely grow up to be freaking Jennifer Aniston.
It's so cooked, man. Here
Okay,
we go.
so-
Here, classic gag number 1, dog bites ass.
No, that's the thing. I was
Fantastic.
about to say, this film isn't condescending to kids because it is really restrained with its kind of bodily humor jokes. Like, yeah, you have 2 nut jokes in this movie. You have Jeff Daniels hurts his testicles when he's on the bike going down the stairs, but they don't make a big deal out of it. It's not like they zoom in on his face and he's going, "Oh, my nuts!"
And then Ashton Kutcher's like, "Oh my god, he got hit in the nuts!"
Punked. Yeah, you don't have that. You just have it like a little thing, like, "Ow!" That's it. And then in the electrocuting sequence, they don't dwell on it too much. They have like a single shot of, there's their penises, like, their pants have, there you go. It cuts back to their face and then they fly into the air. That's it. And then the dogs, they don't do too many gags with them, like sniffing butts or doing wheeze or poos or biting people
It was pretty tame. It was pretty tame.
or blazing up. Look, we haven't seen Jeff Daniels for, I don't know,
a third of the film.
30 minutes.
100%. I was going, what have you been doing this whole
We
time?
haven't seen him since they got the
Since they ran out of the
the warrant to go. Oh, this is the warrant scene, isn't it?
I think it's when Pongo and Purdy ran away and they're like, "Pongo!" No.
Yeah, we haven't seen them
I'm
since
just
then.
so upset, Jeff Daniels. I'm so emotionally attached to the 15
Do you
puppies
not like Jeff
we
Daniels?
just fucking had.
Jeff
I can't
Daniels was
believe
in
this
My
has
Favorite
happened to
Martian
me.
with Christopher Lloyd, a great film.
Oh, you said my favorite. When you said Martian before, I thought you meant the Matt Damon one.
Yeah,
The space,
he's my
the
favorite.
space
He's
one.
also in that film.
But God, Ryan, this isn't My Favorite Martian. This is My Favorite Mation.
He's done it again.
Did you have a favorite Dalmatian in this movie? Out of all the many we met with their names?
The 56th one was pretty good.
I did like their names as they were calling them out.
Lucky. 1, 2,
Two-Tone.
3, 4.
I think I like Fidget.
Spinner?
What?
Fidget was the one that
Cube.
kept tripping.
Cube.
yeah. I don't know. I can't not like Lucky. Lucky's just, he died. You know?
And like Jesus, he came back in 3 seconds.
With just like Jesus, he came back after Jeff Daniels stroked his head. I'm back, Dad.
It's this scene here that a dog lets off a good as,
Fart?
definitely a human burp.
Oh yeah, Frank Welker's work again.
Yeah, from there's like
Frank Welker
licking the
was
cow
only
and then
credited as Pongo and Purdy, I think.
Oh,
See, I didn't know that at all. This is interesting to me. I'm gonna have to like look up some behind the scenes.
He
when
was
I get home.
Scooby Doo.
Frank
Oh,
Welker.
really?
Yeah.
He's still alive, yeah.
I think he's still doing Scooby Doo.
Yeah, he does many voices, mainly
Frank
Scooby.
who?
Frank Welker.
Oh,
He does lots of animal noises and things
Yeah.
like that you wouldn't expect. Like if you hear a movie and you hear an animal, like a dog or cat noise or whatever, it's most likely Frank Welker for some reason. It's not like they could get real noises. They need Frank Welker to be like, ruff! Good job, Frank. One of my favorite things about animal noises from actors is when George Clooney was in South Park as the dog.
And Conan O'Brien was the cat.
And what was he just... They were
It was just meow and like
bark.
2 barks or something.
Bark. Pathetic. This is an emotional film, and this is an unappreciated film with a sequel. Now, I've seen the sequel. You two haven't. Will you go on? Now, Bartek, you will because we're covering it.
We are?
We are! I foreshadowed it in our 100th episode. Now, Sam, are you invested in the adventures of 102 Dalmatians?
Look, honestly, just go on by my general knowledge of how sequels work out. It's not exactly on my to-do list.
Okay, can I ask you that again? Sam, is this going to be on your 102?
Oh
you
man,
gonna watch it?
it's actually streaming at the moment.
my God.
I hit it, set download before I left. So by the time
A
we
legal
finished
copy,
up
of course,
here,
guys.
I could go back and we'd be good. I mean, I'm only streaming it because of course I've already got the DVD and the Blu-ray collector's edition. So I've already owned those copies.
I don't want to spoil it for Bartek and you, but Jeff Daniels gives a stellar performance in the second one. It's almost as if it's his best work. I don't want to spoil it all, but Jeff Daniels knocks it out of the park.
All I want to say
second one, he really steps up his game.
The last time we had a dog duology with Frank Welker in it, Ryan came out liking the second one more.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, classic.
I liked Scooby-Doo 2 more than Scooby-Doo 1.
It had Seth Green in it.
I rewound this part about 3
Because you like looking at horses' asses?
to
You weirdo.
triple check that she actually got fucking kicked by a horse.
And she didn't.
She got kicked by the door, which got kicked by the horse.
Did she? Was it the door? Wasn't it like he slammed it and the plank of wood she's
she's
standing on
about
flips?
to, and he straight up just kicks the door.
Oh,
That
yeah.
horse just KOs the door and she goes flying. So,
I saw Cruella de Vil when she landed in the slop of shit and mud, and I said, oh great, she's literally covered in shit, and my girlfriend for some reason turned around, stoned face, and went, it's mud. And I went, no, it's also shit.
dare
And
you.
she goes, and shit. Oh, fine. And sat down. Like that was she conceded to that. Oh, and shit. Fine, whatever. And just sat down and why is she
so abusive?
Why is she so angry about this? And my girlfriend is the reason this is unappreciated. She fucking despises this movie. And it's because her favorite Disney film is the original 101 Dalmatians, the animated one. And I think one of the reasons why this is unappreciated is everyone universally, including my girlfriend, can recognize that Cruella de Vil is the best part. Glenn Close just adds so much cartoony fun to the role.
Wait, you didn't like Jeff Daniels more?
Hold on. But she is the best part. That and Kid with glasses. Cruella de Vil makes this as she makes the original, but I think a lot of the reasoning why this is unappreciated is those just Disney nerds. They're like, I don't want to watch this. It sucks. Not animated. I'm going to wait for the live action version of The Jungle Book and say that's actually really good. Because it has Idris Elba as the bad guy and he literally throws a wolf off a cliff. That's the reason. And Bill Murray sings. So... Also, I like that this film had the restraint not to be a musical.
Don't even bring that into it.
No, but seriously, no, seriously, it could have been a musical.
It absolutely could have been.
It could have had Cruella de Vil come out of Jeff Daniels.
Oh, man.
Well, I know that song is it, but is the whole film a musical?
It's a Disney animated classic from the 60s. Yes.
Do you reckon when the pig fell off the rafter and landed on Glenn Close that the pig was okay with that part of the plan?
Fun fact, the answer's no. And here's another fun fact. When Glenn Close got the role of Cruella de Vil, she insisted on a few things. One of which was to keep the costumes after it was done, which is the best thing you could have in your contract, because wouldn't you? Look at them.
That's true.
But
Get a close look at them.
She also insisted, fake fur for them, because, it's suiting. But when she wore the costumes in both films, animals were afraid to go near her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it freaked them out.
Yeah, there were a few trivia points about how she terrified animals.
She didn't personally go, ugh. It's just when she's embodying this character and they see her, just the whole look of it was freaked them out. Because she's so crazy with her black and white hair and all that, which they amplify in this film. In the original, she has, black and white hair still, how she does, but it's more, just hanging low and down, but in this it's woo, it goes levels of crazy. Oh, here's the look at them go.
This is the double whammy. The old
they electrocute so hard that the box of power explodes.
That's right, they act like some sort of conductor.
Couldn't handle their manhoods.
Yeah.
You know what's even worse?
Their rods.
They would have even been worse off because they landed on snow and they're bolting electricity out of them, and snow's water.
That's
when you touch it, it tends to turn to water.
Yeah. They should
so
be dead.
they would have been conducting even more pain on themselves because water and electricity. So, that's gonna hurt.
They would have gotten electric superpowers.
They would have become Electro in Spider-Man.
No, this is how he becomes Arthur Weasley. This is how he goes from the Muggleverse to the wizarding world.
Yeah, and
it turns his blood pure blood.
What? And he marries Glenn Close.
Absolutely.
She becomes, what's the mum's?
Molly Weasley?
Molly, yeah,
Correct.
she becomes Molly, and you're wondering where did Glenn Close go? She became the actress.
Fast forward to Glenn Close in the
because
final
of
fight scene of
electricity
Harry
and
Potter.
molasses mud shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, here's something. You didn't know who Glenn Close was, Sam?
No.
Bartek, you knew because she was been on Stepford Wives, an episode we had done before, but I can't remember if you knew her from anything else before that.
I'm not even sure if I have, probably, but it's not one that I immediately go oh, Glenn!
Glenn was very famous, and like I said earlier, I said offhandedly, one of the reasons that you don't see her much now is she is a woman who's 70 years old, and she's not Meryl Streep. That's the real reason. It sounds simplistic, but, it's Hollywood. If you're not looking like the old lady, like the nanny, which she doesn't look like, you aren't gonna. If you don't look like Betty White, or if you're not Meryl Streep, after a certain age, you're not gonna get roles unless you're doing voices or something. And one of the appeals of Glenn Close in terms of attraction, because this character of hers, is very much adored because of the sexual energy of the character visually and character driven. Because Glenn Close, she's an actress who plays femme fatales and temptresses a lot. She's in the famous film Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas, in which she plays a crazy woman who has sex with Michael Douglas and starts to stalk him and go nuts. We've covered films like that with The Boy Next Door. And part of her attraction part of it was that she has this real kind of domineering androgyny and masculinity to her. She has the short hair, she has the chiseled cheeks, she has a really masculine look to her, and as she gets older, that kind of works against her, because I've seen her in a movie recently and she looks like an old man. But I think that's really unfair, because look at her in this film and look how talented she is. Look at her.
This is the best part of this movie. There's no question.
She really just looks like Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
And the idea of Emma Stone doing a Cruella de Vil film where you're having, young, poor, innocent Cruella de Vil, and the idea that Glenn Close isn't going to be in it as the older version is just I don't know. It doesn't sit right.
She's got big
Ryan,
shoes to fill.
When it comes out, you can edit in parts of this film.
But you know what I mean? Don't you get like little fuzzy, tingly feeling when you have certain actors who really nailed a character in a previous iteration of something and they bring them back to do it in a different version, like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. You know, he did it before and it wasn't well received, but everyone was like, he's really good though. We should give him another chance and something actually good. Not saying that this wasn't good. I just think, you know, there's certain actors that should just always be these characters. It's kind of like, you know, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, absolutely. That, by the way, was the part you were thinking about where he stopped the panel and flew out the window.
And look at her.
That's just mine. She's literally eating shit.
Now she's got shit all over her. All over her. And, you know, she's a method actress. That's real shit.
I think it's at this point that I need to kind of amend my statement that the dogs are clearly the smartest characters in this movie. It basically extends to all the animals, but especially the raccoons.
Yeah.
You see that trap?
Yeah, I did see how they destroyed a van.
They did. They had the whole thing, the rig set up so she'd fall through in the pot of stuff. And then I was astounded at this search party. I was thinking, man, I wouldn't even get this kind of search party if I called up at work and said there was a Cashies customer about to stab me. They wouldn't even come down with 10 cars like this, and it's over fucking dogs.
Well,
I mean, I say that I love dogs, but
we all love dogs.
I'm just jealous of the attention that these dogs are getting. That's all I'm saying.
When it happens, Sam, just say that there are dogs in danger too.
There are dogs involved. They'll be there in 2 seconds. They'll get a search warrant like that.
But you have to
the
say
raccoons will come too.
They're 101
and we're in
Dalmatians. You know, here's a weird thing though. Bartek.
That's me.
I'm a policeman.
Oh shit, really? Officer Sliwinski?
Officer Sliwinski. And I've just found 101 Dalmatians. Mm-hmm. 15 of them, 17 of them are your Dalmatians. Mm-hmm. Now, look, I know we live in a big metropolis of a city, Melbourne, and look...
Melbourne metropolitan area.
Yeah, we live in an area where I could get easily locations for these other, 99, all these other dogs.
Easily by what means?
Giving them to RSPCAs or people who wanted to buy purebreds.
Oh, so finding new homes for them.
Finding new
where
homes.
They came from.
Not where they came from. Or returning them where they came from. Mm-hmm. Because, I could do that. But in all fairness...
right in front of you.
In all fairness... my London branch did mention briefly that they can't find the owners. But whatever. I have all these dogs here, and you live in a normal...
Find them. What about the Jamaican branch? Could they find the owners?
And you live in a small flat in the middle of London. I mean, the middle of Melbourne.
Yeah.
Can you look after all these dogs?
I think the first thing I'd say is, I can first ask some friends if they need some dogs.
No. It has to be you.
I'm going to guilt trip you into taking the dogs into your small apartment, because if you don't take them, then they're just going to go to the pounds.
And die. So, Bartek, are you going to?
Are you gonna? Because if you don't take it, that pretty much makes you a bad person.
You're as bad as Cruella.
Correct.
We should, in fact, give them back to her. She'll utilize them.
Although by now we've
Stop
established
talking badly about my mum.
Not only is Cruella a generous benefactor, but she's also durable as fuck.
My name is Diana.
Her and Nanny, if you verse them in Tekken, they'll just bounce off each other.
To expect to see either of these in Infinity War Part 1, or like...
Oh, I would love it if Glenn Close played Thanos.
Does she have the Soul Stone?
Yeah, fuck
Is that where it is?
She is death. And the Marvel Universe, they have the female embodiment of death.
It is Glenn Close.
It's Glenn Close.
Ryan, throughout all of Tekken, there have been 4 characters that have been in every single entry. Would you kick one of them out to make room for...
Def.
Yeah?
For both Joan Plowright and Glenn Close. But you didn't answer my question. We've got all these dogs. You gonna take them?
Look, my name's Diablo Deville. You probably don't want me to take
Diablo Deville.
So is that a no?
It's gonna be a no.
I'm gonna ask you again.
You're gonna ask the real me inside?
You gonna take these dogs?
Well, they do look cuddly.
Boys!
It's done.
He said they're cuddly! Bring them out! Bring them out! Just let them run all over this street that's still active. Come on! They're all gonna run in the house. They know where to go.
Now, I made a note at the start of this movie that the only reason any of this bad shit happened to Jeff Daniels is because he was a dumb cunt. He was wearing a beret.
He was never wearing a beret, was he?
Absolutely. In particular, on the bike chase scene, he was wearing a beret.
Was he?
And that's like, it's just like the pinnacle of I hate you is wearing a beret. And now, if you look at what the bad guys are wearing now, Arthur Weasley in particular.
Well, that's not a beret. That's just a flap cap.
That although the you know what I mean. That's all you need to do.
Can I share something that I don't know if you guys thought about? Do the police know that Hugh Laurie and Arthur Weasley are bad guys? Because they came out of the woods like, help us, and then they got like, they don't have handcuffs. All the others have handcuffs, and they're put in the back.
Yeah, they were acting like, they're going to give us a lift to somewhere safe.
Yeah, but then it's just like they're in the back with the other two, and it's just kind of like, oh, so they're arrested. Yeah. But the other two have handcuffs on.
I did think that too, because I was watching. I'm like, oh, they don't realize they're being arrested. But then I thought about it, like, they're not being treated like they're criminals. It's like they are genuinely getting a lift.
Imagine the police, and they just couldn't figure out, like, well, we got all these people, one van.
Unload the puppies.
They're like, oh, well, we can't find out where the dogs belong to, and underlings are sort of like dogs.
So guys, are you counting all those puppies? Because,
there's at least 4.
Imagine if it was only 4, and they just did some great film editing. Like, no special effects, just really good shots.
I did wonder if it was a repeated shot as it went back and forth, but the one thing that's coming up is probably my biggest leap of like disbelief in this whole movie.
That they didn't have a witty title for Cruella de Vil like they did with that tiger. I agree.
The spirit of the tiger.
Well, it's actually, here we go. By the way, like they're playing the video game thing makes a comeback. This kid.
It has a similar animation to the original '60s movie.
Correct,
Great call.
Correct. It is a good throwback. Yes, I see what you mean there.
The dogs with their
CGI heads, yeah.
All they had to do was make them look up and sideways.
Get a donut or something, man. Put it on a string.
Were you about to say?
Like
with this?
So this, they do the video game pitch of this, and it goes so well that it's on their house and it zooms out, and they're in a fucking mansion on what looks like
a manor, yeah,
a few thousand acres. And I'm kind of going, what fucking kind of game is this? Like the origin story of like Modern Warfare 2? Like, what kind of fucking game about Dalmatians gets this guy like millions of pounds?
Wow,
you reckon the kid was bribed?
I'm going to tell you, man.
100%.
There's a few aspects that you're missing here. One of them is, where does she work now? Maybe she's taken over Corella's job. I didn't see anyone else that was in the position to.
Something tells me that she would have a full-time gig looking after Dalmatians, and they could maybe rent out their house as like a Dalmatian farm, and people can visit. It'd be like a B&B,
and it's covered in spots.
It is too.
I didn't notice that the first time actually. Here's something. Maybe this is Nanny's house.
Mate, it's not even like, there's the wall. It's like the dogs are as far as we know, they own the hillside.
They own literally all of England.
From his fucking Dalmatian game.
Ryan, is that setting in the sequel? That building?
Oh, you'll see.
I'll see.
Like I said, Jeff Daniels is very, very good in the film. But I also mentioned it's more set in France.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It has Gerard Depardieu as the villain.
Bless you.
Gerard Depardieu?
Bless you.
Oh. So the film has ended. Look, Chrissy England did a good job on visual effects producing.
There was a guy whose name really was John Comfort, and I was comfortable.
And look at Birds Animals Unlimited. That's a great name.
There was a Mike Moore, and I did wonder if that was
there was a Glenn
before his name known.
Oh, Mike Moore. John Evans, good job. Pensioner with Bulldog.
The only thing that was going through my head this whole thing was how much I loved the Cruella de Vil song.
Well, it is a great song. It's a classic. And the animation does a real good job with it in the original. You should watch it at some point as well. The animation's beautiful. So the film has ended, unfortunately. I wish it would have gone on more, if that's a critique I could give. Longer, please. I'm going to give my review first, because I'm already kind of chatting. I love to chat about films, and one of the things is this is a classic for me as a child. It's been a very long time since I've watched it, and I think I saw this one in the cinema, but I'm thinking I saw the second one in the cinema. But the thing that matters is I've seen it, and it was worthy enough for me to want to revisit it all these years later to see if it holds up, because there's something about nostalgia with some films. There's some films that you appreciate them as you get older, and then there's ones where you go back and you go, oh, that's not as good. And this isn't that. This is one that I appreciate more. As a kid, I may not have noticed all the nuances, all the great character arcs. I may not have noticed Jeff Daniels' beret until Sam Corr pointed out just a moment ago. I didn't even factor his beret into all of this.
If you wear a beret, you're fucking dead to me.
Dead to him.
Hear
that,
That's
friends?
me breaking character for a second. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Get it.
This whole entire time, he wasn't even Sam Corr. He was...
I was...
Metallica fan. Whatever, all that whole spiel and stuff.
I was Hawaiian pizza, no pineapple.
Do you fight like troops of mimes?
What?
I'm sorry?
Mimes wear berets?
Oh, mimes. He hates mimes. Watch out, France.
How many
Sam Corr's coming.
How many mimes could a Sam Corr take out on a good day?
Here's something, Sam.
Some of the mimes are mimed.
Here's like, you have to also watch out. You can't, defeat them, because if they build enough brick walls, you won't be able to get anywhere near them.
We've all seen that episode of Pokemon where Team Rocket rocks up on the tank and the mimes just build the wall and trap them in. Like, you're done for.
You're dead.
You're done.
You're
done. No.
You're gonna ask them, how are you conveying that it's a brick wall, and then they'll fall apart.
And then, no, they can't answer you.
Yeah.
And clearly brick walls don't mean anything, because Arthur Weasley can just fucking slip on, slide through, and come out the other side.
That's true.
And then be frozen, and then be fine. So.
And that's my review.
What even is a brick?
That's an interesting name. Scott with an X.
With an X? No
Scots.
C. Scots.
No, I'll give you a bit more, guys. This film.
Doug Jones was a negative cutter.
Good. He hasn't done much since April Water. Look, if I have to give this film a review, which I am, and a rating, look, I'll just say this a little bit more. Jim Henson worked on this. Great. Look, this film was fun. It's a fun time out, and I think it is a perfect family film. And when it comes to live-action adaptations of a beloved animated classic, it does a very good job. It doesn't hold back. It's inventive. It stands on its own feet. It takes the story, changes a few things, but still keeps the spirit of it, whilst also being its own unique thing. If I have to give this a rating, which obviously I do, it would be subtlety out of ball gags, because they were very subtle with their ball gags. Just placing them there. Placing them there.
That's very accurate.
Bartek, let's hear from you.
Ryan, we just watched, without sound, a film called 101 Dalmatians.
I loved it.
And you're just ruining my review, Ryan.
Sorry.
I did love it. And I think that everyone should be watching this film, regardless of whether they are familiar with the original source material that this is an adaptation of, or maybe they're familiar with the video games. I don't know.
Or the original book it came from.
I think that this film, as you said, Ryan, has a lot of balls. It is a film that decides, you know what, we don't need actual spoken dialogue for a section of it. The acting of the animals and the CGI and whatever you may have, woodpeckers, is astounding. In fact, I think representation of woodpeckers alone, that's a very good thing.
Yeah, the Oscars have been pretty no woodpeckers.
The Academy Award for Best Woodpecker of all time. I'm just saying, this is a contender.
Yeah. Stop giving it to Woody each year. We get it. He's a pretty good woodpecker.
Well, he's actually a sheriff of a fictional town, but that's beside the point. Tom Hanks is enough.
Woody Woodpecker?
Are we talking about Woody Harrelson?
He was in the audience of
We all went for different Woodies. I'm proud of us all.
We did make, penis jokes earlier, so that could be another one.
Good job.
I think that this film holds up from the 1990s, even though I didn't see it there. I can tell because it's a good film and it's 2018 at this point. I think that if this film can hold up over 22 years, what's 23? And eventually you'll ask, what's 24? What's 25? Eventually you'll get to 1000, and someone might say, at some point you have to say no, but they're like, we got to this point, didn't we?
It's kind of like Jesus.
It's kind of like Jesus. It's only...
Couldn't have said it better myself.
2018 years later, still a thing.
still annoyingly a thing, yeah.
King Herod is probably stamping his foot. It's like, God damn it, still.
Yeah, fun fact.
He still cares.
Fun fact, Rick Mayall played King Herod once. Just because we talked about him before. He never got to play Peeves properly, but he got to play King Herod. So there you
Ryan,
go.
can I blow your mind?
Blow my load.
Rick Mayall's dead.
No,
Like
don't.
a Dalmatian.
No, don't joke about that. No. That actually depresses me.
He's playing it in the afterlife, man. He's Peeves in the afterlife.
He can finally play Peeves.
It was his birthday the other day.
He's actually Peeves right now.
It was his birthday.
When's his death day?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I was genuinely depressed when I found that news out. He's one of my favourite comedians ever. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, go on, Bartek. You better quicken this up. I feel like punching you now that you mentioned Rick Mayall's death. I'm so angry.
So, throughout history...
Taken so young.
Throughout history, we've had many amazing things. We've had dinosaurs. We've had Rick Mayall dying.
Fuck you!
And we've had 101 Dalmatians from 1996. And... I think we'll have it forever. If I have to give this film a rating...
Which you do?
I will give it 101 bicycles out of 101 ponds.
Yay! You know what I was really expecting? When you said, if I have to give this a rating, and then I said, you do, and then you just decided not to. It just said nothing.
No, that would be a Ryan move.
That would be a Ryan move. What about Sam? Let's hear a little review from you and a rating of your choice.
Well, as I was saying to you guys before we started on, and you know, as I haven't neglected to mention throughout the podcast, I am not really a movie dude, and I also did not know which of the 101 Dalmatian movies were any good. So I put it on, and as far as I knew, this could either be the good one or the crap one. So I was kind of going, do I roast this movie? Like, do I just absolutely just like beat it down? And then maybe a little bit into it, I actually have a note that just says, is this movie actually good? Like, with a question mark. And I started actually non-ironically enjoying it as just like a wholesome family movie about these very bland main characters trying to get their dogs back. And the dogs were the things you enjoyed. So honestly, I can't understand if people are giving it fucking 5.1 out of 10. I think you need to calm down. You need to cheer up a little bit.
You need to change one of those values.
Stop taking everything so seriously.
PC culture.
I think for me, give it one solid two-handed handshake with maybe a pat on the back and a good on you, champ.
That is all that you need.
Just to top it off.
That was brilliant. So Bartek has accrued some comments from the deep dark web of the YouTube. Now, for context, Bartek, you've got some comments from YouTube, but where from YouTube?
YouTube.com.
No, but like specifically what video?
The
or
video,
videos?
It was just one video. I found a copy of the trailer that had like 40-something comments.
Oh, only that many? Wow.
Well, it's an old film, and the trailer is definitely not from around the time YouTube was a big thing, Ryan.
That's true.
It actually surprised me that there was an upload of the trailer.
I'm not surprised.
It's a 90s film, and it's an unappreciated masterpiece.
But Disney.
Dinsey.
So what did the lovely YouTubians have to give us? Because you know, Sam, YouTube's lovely. Everyone's nice on YouTube. They're don't
so accepting of each other.
They don't say mean things to anyone or about anything.
It's just constructive criticism. Constantly.
Yeah, and the main emphasis you have to put on is constructive.
Absolutely.
The first comment is the most underrated Disney movie besides The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2.
Did you write that comment? Was that you? Check the username. Check the username.
Oh my god! You found it out. It was me.
It's my secret YouTube account.
You know, you found out it was, you know, guylikesbigcocks.com. You know, it was me. I should change that.
You really need to think up more creative names, man.
He had a good Mega Man LP.
You got me.
The next comment, this is the one that relates to the lookout.
Look out.
I used to be scared of the look out part at 43 seconds when I used to watch the VHS of Toy Story 1. A number of times as a young kid, I would always run away when the man wailing, "Look out!" was ready to appear, and then come back to the TV screen when the 43-second "Look out!" part was over.
I love how he needed to keep specifying it was at 43 seconds because
In
there
the
were
trailer.
multiple times where Jeff Daniels told everyone
And
to
it was
look out.
and the quote was always all caps exclamation mark.
You know, that reminds
Yeah,
me of, I don't know if you guys knew the movie Baby's Day Out.
We've covered
We've
it on the
done
show.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love that film. You should check out our episode on it.
Man,
You would love it too.
I love that movie, but I remember watching it as a kid, and I used to do the same damn thing when he was in the zoo and the gorilla got
Yep.
out and the gorilla did
Yeah.
the scream. I used to dip for like a minute and come
Yeah.
back and
When I watched it for the first time ever as a full-grown man doing it for the show, Baby's Day Out, I was very surprised with how much violence there was in that film. And also the janitor from Scrubs is a policeman.
and bloody Ray is Ray Romano just in it?
No.
What then? Who's the guy that I'm thinking of?
Fat Tony
Out of
from The
the
Simpsons is
Ah.
the head gangster,
German
and
Tegner.
Yeah.
one of the guys from The Matrix and
I
Memento
don't know
is
The Matrix,
one of the
yeah.
others, and then there's a big dumb guy. Go on, Bartek.
I watched this before I watched the movie just to make sure that it was good. But it doesn't look good.
Oh,
What's an attack?
that's harsh. Hashtag truth.
That's a personal attack on Glenn Close.
The next one has responses to the comment, and there is some agreement, Ryan.
Oh, good. I like agreeing. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, I couldn't agree more.
He
We're
did
about
agree.
to see people just backing each other.
You know,
It's
you
good.
said I couldn't agree, and I got scared, but then you said more, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Wow.
The initial comment is, I prefer, not prefer, prefer.
Perfect.
I'll get it.
I prefer the animated version.
Ah.
The first response is, me too. Then the original commenter responded, I don't know why though. And then there's a response from a completely different person.
Good on you. I know this person's gonna nail it.
And every single word starts with a capital letter.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. They went to the
Oh,
effort.
good.
Yeah, that's right. I prefer the 1961 animated version too. Besides, I hate remakes of movies, especially 101 Dalmatians. And guess next year in March 2016, they already did the same thing to the 1967 Disney animated film The Jungle Book.
Ooh.
And worst actor of the United States, Bill Murray, is voicing Baloo the Sloth Bear. And Idris Elba is voicing Shere Khan?
Yeah, Shere Khan.
Shere Khan, the Bengal Tiger.
Oh my!
The
I
worst actor from
can't
America.
believe they
Bill
just
Murray.
took such a steamy shit on Bill Murray.
And The Jungle Book.
He doesn't deserve that.
Little
Jungle
did they
Book
know,
does.
The Jungle Book was actually really good. Because the original 19 and the original 8 and the original animated movie is not so good.
That's nostalgic to me. That one.
The next comment has some interesting variations of literacy.
I love literacy, don't you? This person doesn't apparently. But
I'm actually illiterate.
I
so-
could tell by the web toes.
This person also had a good Mega Man LP.
hit me.
I.V. enjoyed watching 101 Dal Mations on Sky Demand. Really brilliant movie, Disney movie of all I would see. 101 DALMATIONS. Again, definitely a yes from me. Ashley says I am recommending it out to everybody. Enjoy Movie Week Ireland.
Wow.
Sam? Why did you put that on YouTube, Sam?
How do you even react to that? Where do you begin to dissect?
I think that's you. I think you put that there, Sam, to throw us off. To
is
make
it-
us look like the fools. To
oh,
make Bartek
dude.
read that out loud.
Is that the time? Shit. Dude,
That's
I better get-
literally
You know, it's-
the days of the year. Bartek?
This next one's a long one.
But it's worth it, Sam. It makes you feel.
It's a good one.
It makes you feel.
This film is decent, but it still pales compared to the original animated film.
Oh, we get it, you
the
suck.
biggest problem is here. Because the creators decided to not have them talk, none of the Dalmatians here have any real personality. Especially the parents.
Liar!
I miss Pongo's clever, determined, mischievous, heroic, rascally personality, Perdita's kind, gentle, motherly, stern, worrisome personality, their tough and badass sides if anyone wants to mess with them, Patch's tough, rough and tumble nature, Rolly's constantly hungry nature,
Yeah.
Lucky being all going up to the TV and being shy and very lucky, Penny being all giggly at everything. Have I said enough? Also, I missed
Yes.
the chase scene the original had. Glenn Close was a great Cruella, and the best part of this film, I mean, the way she yells, "Catch those puppies!" and "Take it!" and gives me chills. Also, lol, how they made Roger yell, "Look out!" twice. XD.
Everyone loves...
Was it a capital XD?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Everyone loves that look out moment.
I know, everyone can't,
Was I blind? Did I miss that? Like, when I watched it, I didn't think that's an iconic...
He's not right. You're saying moment. This comment said he said it twice.
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing. We've brought it up in this episode already, and when I watched it... When I watched it last night, I didn't think about that at all. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
You thought, oh, he's wet.
So you have one final one for us.
Yes.
But I really like the idea that guy had an individual character review for each one of the 101 Dalmatians. Like,
oh, definitely.
I really like how bloody wiggly, him and his ferocious attitude.
Didn't play too close to the fact that fidgets too much.
Yeah,
13thly.
16thly. And this is the final comment. It has 3 responses.
Because, people are kind. They just, the great thing about YouTube...
You've already said something wrong there, Ryan?
The great thing about YouTube is people can give their opinions on content.
And not be judged.
I promise you there's no judging in these responses.
Oh, good. Let's go.
Initial comment. From 10 seconds to 19 seconds, the numbers were counting up very fast from 1 to 101, and in brackets, no skipping, as the 55-year-old TA 101 Dalmatians dissolved into the 20-year-old LA 101 Dalmatians. That's my favourite part of the trailer. Along with the announcer saying, one of Disney's all-time animated favourites, then pausing for approximately a second, and then saying, comes to life. Yeah. So just like, in the trailer, there is a part where
that happens.
It rapidly goes from 1 to 101.
Wow.
Of,
I like the fact that this person sat here with a stopwatch, and we're like, gotta get this right, because someone's gonna call me up on this.
And the first response is from the exact same person who made the initial comment.
Oh, good.
The numbers counted up almost entirely with these numbers in all white on the black background, which each number being on screen for much less than a second, while every gap between numbers would have a picture of running puppies/dogs. The last number on the count up, in brackets, 101 to be known, appears as part of the 101 Dalmatians logo of this movie.
Wow.
With a black or red border, in brackets, whatever that colour is, and Dalmatian spots all over it on a white background instead of a black background. While the 101 is showing up on screen, the announcer says, 101 Dalmatians! We then segue into the then upcoming live action clips of the film.
They literally covered 9 seconds of this trailer for 40 minutes.
The next response is from the exact same person, the initial commenter. And those numbers even zoomed in as they went upward and continued to keep on with the zooming.
Kidding me that this is all...
I put OP response for the same...
I am actually going to send that person an abusive YouTube message.
But a kind one. You should be like, give me more details, please.
I actually want to be like, you remember that time fucking years ago you made all these fucking ridiculous long-ass posts on a 101 Dalmatians video because it actually just affected my day-to-day activities. And I actually wish something bad happened. I've talked about this before,
but I made a YouTube comment literally once on a video 4 or 5 years ago. I still get replies on that. Yeah. I still get replies. They're like, kill me.
Once you're in YouTube, man, there's no getting out.
I'll start that response again.
Because I missed
And those numbers even zoomed in as they went upward and continued to keep on with the zooming. In as I got closer to the number 101, with a 3-digit 100 even looking incomplete. And there's one last response.
As if I'm the fucking same person again?
Actually, Ryan, it is.
Fuck you! I mean, yay! You could have all written in this in one comment, but whatever.
Or the number 100 even had its left and right sides even cropped up during the zooming for every number, but 101 during the 1 to 101 count up at the start of the trailer.
You know, the best part is...
Were they literally just going on about the fact that it counted up from 1 to 101?
More or less.
That's fucked.
Here's the best part. They broke down the art and technicality of that, and someone somewhere who worked on that little 9-second sequence reads this comment, and they're like, someone noticed.
Someone knows.
Thank you, Bartek, and also I hate you for finding that comment.
Do you like the commenter?
Oh, I'm going to give them a message too.
Well,
I
after
hope when they go to
I'll
sleep
find it for
tonight,
you.
it's like a little bit too hot and they don't have a fan or like can't open a window or something.
Yeah.
They live in an igloo.
I hope next time they bite into a banana, they accidentally forget about the little black bit on the bottom.
Oh, that's mean.
Like-
Well, you guys at home, fantastic job. You've managed to hear a lot of thoughts today. Or tonight, or whatever. I don't know. You could be in space listening to this. I'm not saying that...
Well, in space there's no sound.
no one can hear you laugh at how good we are at breaking down Glenn
No
Close.
one can hear us laugh either.
And wasn't Glenn Close the only important part of this film?
No! Jeff Daniels saying, look out!
Look out!
Twice. So, you guys have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful, superfluously stupendous listening people. Sam Corr, you have been amazing. You know, you're not a film guy, but maybe today... You are a movie man.
You know what? I'm slowly getting there, man, and it's been cool.
It's been an exhilarating joyride.
It has been rad.
Bartek?
Yes.
It was fun, wasn't it? I mean, that comment at the end makes me want to kill myself, but that's kind of what this show's about.
When
I'm
you do
looking
it,
for the
Ryan.
nearest
When you
shop
do
of
it,
it.
Ryan, make sure you count to 101.
I'm gonna slice my wrist 101 times.
Is that going to be like you're going to be a Batman villain? That's your gimmick, 101 man.
But I can only use that gimmick once.
Well, you can use it 101 times probably.
Well, like we said, there's no ifs and or buts. The next episode will be 102 Dalmatians. There is an animated movie from 2003 called 101 Dalmatians 2.
What?
London, Patch's London Adventure. Not that
There's
one.
called Patch?
Yeah, of course there
Where
is.
was Patch in this?
You know, don't worry
There's
about
one
it.
called Two Tone.
He was in London.
But no,
clearly.
that one's a sequel made in 2003 to the original animated one.
Okay.
Because it's an animated movie. No, we're doing 102 Dalmatians, the one with Gerard Depardieu. Until next time, remember to be kind to each other.
Oh, Ryan, look, there's a comment that I didn't read, and I forgot
Please,
to read it.
don't.
I
Don't
should
do
read
this.
the comment. I need to complete this thing.
No, don't.
Oh my god, Ryan! This comment says that. Did you know that there's a sequel?
No, is there?
Yeah, this will be another dog duology.
No!
All you need is it for to be a video game adaptation. That's 3 Februaries in one.
Woo! No, please don't do that to me. If we rocked up to the second one, even though I've seen it, and it's like all about it's actually it's actually his video game he created, and we're watching
It's
the
a Let's
storyline.
Play.
I'll kill myself.